Hello and welcome to the final match of week number 5 of the WGL APAC Season 2.
Yes.
It's looking like a pretty good one here actually shaping up, I think, because Horsemen, to me, on a bit of a downward trend, Meltdown on a bit of an upward trend. See which one of them comes up tonight with the win.
Going to be interesting. Of course, that last one was very disappointing. My boys, TCZ, let me down. I was in the control room doing some excellent observing. Excellent observing, getting some nice zooms going in there. But unfortunately, I was chatting to Lion as well from TCZ, and I was like, Lion, mate, come on.
Lion, mate.
Come on, mate. You know?
Didn't work. You're obviously not a very good pep talker.
Well, they didn't listen to me, did they?
What did you say?
Maybe pick 6 113s on Murabanka. Or pick 6 mouses on Murabanka. They didn't.
Well, I'm glad they didn't.
What, so they could lose?
Well, they were never going to win with 6 113s or 6 mouses.
You win with 6 mouses.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
You would not.
Yes, you would.
There's
Anyways.
no way.
But, look, we're not here to talk about that much. We're here to talk about this match right here, Horsemen and Meltdown. Meltdown, obviously, yesterday, they did look very strong, Jordan, up against Team Efficiency. I mean, they beat Team Efficiency, who has today beat Gaming.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how they fare here against the Horsemen, who have really been on a bit of a downward slump recently.
Definitely. They definitely haven't looked as good as they did in the first couple of weeks. Meltdown didn't look good in the first couple of weeks and have started to look a lot better this week and last week as well. So I think Meltdown's on an upward trend here. I think they have a pretty good chance of pulling this one off. And actually, last time the two teams faced each other, it was 5-1 in the favor of Meltdown, which at that point, to us, sort of felt like a bit of an upset because we thought Horsemen were going into that one with an advantage. But this time, I definitely think a 5-1 for Horsemen. Well, a 5-1 for Meltdown would be a little surprising because it would be very, very convincing, a very, very convincing result, only allowing Horsemen to get one round. But I do think that Meltdown is coming into this one as the favourites.
You reckon? Well, I would probably go with you there, although I haven't actually picked Meltdown to win.
Okay.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Anyways, don't
Right.
worry, guys. But look, it is going to be an interesting one because Horsemen, they can pull out a good performance.
They definitely
Let's not
can.
forget.
They can. And if they show up
They've
tonight,
got good players on their team.
they definitely do. If they show up tonight, they will be able to pull something good off. But, you know, they didn't really manage to do all that much this week. They haven't done all that much last week. I'm not hugely confident about this roster at this point. I mean, Hokyao coming in, he's looked okay. He hasn't looked excellent. But, you know, there's not much to take away here, really, for Horsemen.
Look, we can say who we're going to be looking out for to do well on Horsemen. I think Sphinx, he can carry them when he wants to. Hawks recently has been playing quite good. Nundessa as well. So they're the three kind of damage dealers, I reckon. But then the Meltdown team, I mean, they have brought in Valiant after last weekend's ruling, which
Momo's departure.
Removed Momo, yeah, that's it. And Valiant, honestly, he came in yesterday, played quite well against Team Efficiency. I mean, look, he didn't carry every game.
He wasn't amazing, but he was good.
Look, for a guy who hasn't played WGL since last year, you can't really fault him. He did well to kind of jump into the roster and give it a crack, I guess. But Pathfinder, Vice Tone, Blast, Pink Pig, some of the top damage dealers, particularly Blast recently, he's been looking really, really good for the Meltdown lineup.
Yep. It's not looking like a bad roster at the moment, and here's our matchup. Wow, that's a picture and a half, isn't it? Holy dooly.
Well, a little bit of a sneak peek for everyone.
Yeah.
This week, on the Twitters and the Facebooks, Nico Best Wife, who may very well be our player profile focus.
Did you just find the most crazy picture you could and said, okay, we're doing one of them?
Yes. Anyways, but Nico Best Waifu, in saying that, he actually has one of the highest average accuracies in WGL.
Yep.
Last week it was 86%. That's kind of normalized down a little bit to 85%. But he's a very accurate tanker, so you can count on Nico. When he shoots his shells, he can hit them. And another fun fact for everyone about Nico Best Waifu, his favourite tank is actually the Pattern.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Not a tank that we see all that often in WGL, if at all, really. Not this season, certainly. We did see it last season when Meltdown kind of did that crazy meme strat. I think it was against Twist, where they picked all patterns on Prokhorovka.
Proc. Oh,
and they lost.
The dream.
They
That was
did
good,
lose.
though. I quite enjoyed that. I feel.
All right, but having a look at the map picks coming out now. Cliff taken away by Horsemen. Yeah, you know, I'm not a here nor there really on that veto. I don't think that makes a huge amount of sense. I don't think it really hurts them all that much. Mine's taken away by Meltdown. Again, to me, that's not a hugely impactful veto for that one. So Horsemen, like, this is actually really weird. Like, Ruinberg picked by Horsemen. It's not a map that I think they've had huge success
you'd
on.
expect the Horsemen or you know, maybe to go for something like Steps earlier on. I mean,
I think the Ghost Town pick from Meltdown is the first one there that to me really screams that it makes sense, right? Because they haven't really actually lost that so far this season. They beat Team Efficiency on it yesterday from memory. They've looked pretty good on it in general. So I like that pick from Meltdown.
And I would like to see a Himmelsdorf pick coming up next for the Horsemen. Yep, there we go. They do.
Well, it kind of got through with the remainder, really.
Yeah, so a little bit. So it's not really a rush pick.
Is not a bad pick for Meltdown. They haven't played it all that much this season, but they haven't lost on it yet. So there is that. Yeah, would not mind to see Steps coming out here again from Meltdown. They did
Meltdown have a 100% win rate. They've played Steps 4 times. They've won Steps 4 times.
Actually, I think they played it 6 now that they faced Team Efficiency on it.
Exactly. So why veto it?
I don't know. Maybe they don't want to face Horsemen on that map. But yeah, I'm a little bit confused. Well, not confused, but I'm a little surprised.
Sorry, thinking about it, I don't blame them for vetoing it because I've always felt as though Horsemen have been pretty good on Steps. Just kind of, you know, my intuition.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard map pool to predict, really, when I look down it. Because Meltdown have been very weird on Ruinberg, I think it's fair to say. They've been okay, but they've not been great. You know, that's a 50-50 for me. Ghost Town probably going the way of Meltdown. But in saying that, Horseman's not a bad team on Ghost Town either. So
they can pull Ghost Town off.
Even that one could be a 1-1. And Muravanka, haven't seen too much from Meltdown on that one. Horsemen aren't too great on it. So, again, hard to predict. And Himmelsdorf, maybe that's the one where I think Horsemen should do pretty reasonably on it. But we said that about them yesterday, and they didn't do too well on it at all against Gaming. So,
yeah,
very, very perplexing as to how this has turned out.
It's strange, and I honestly, after looking at this, I wouldn't be too surprised to see it going all the way, and maybe even heading into a tiebreaker. It's early to call, obviously. You know, I saw it in the Twitch chat earlier on when we were calling. You know, after one game, it might go to a tiebreaker, and chat was like, oh wow, how are these guys calling it it's going to a tiebreaker after one game? Well, with WGL APAC teams, you can sort of tell sometimes. Even though recently the results have been hard to predict, these teams do have their favoured maps, and when you get two teams going up together that, you know, you can look at the map stats on and say, okay, they're probably going to win this here on the attack, they're probably going to win Himmelsdorf there on the defence, etc. You know, it does become easier to say those sorts of things.
Yeah,
but,
you do tend to get a bit of a feel as to how the teams are going to go up against each other. But, you know, we talk about the maps. What we haven't really talked about too much so far is that Meltdown is looking very, very good this week. They looked pretty good last week as well. That's why I've gone with Meltdown here, 5-3 against both you and Rogi. So I'm interested to see how you can say Horsemen actually come out with a 5-4 here.
Look, if I actually have seen Meltdown play yesterday, I don't think I would have said 5-4 to the Horsemen last week. But look, I mean, I'm still sticking with it. I still will say that they can come out with a 5-4 here. I mean, it will be. I think we will see some very close matches, particularly if Horsemen are playing on point. If Sphinx steps up, if some of the other guys on Horsemen, Nico steps up a little bit, gets that 85% accuracy going, then we will probably see some really, really close games. 5-4. Again, for them to win in the 5-4, we have got Ghost Town as the tiebreaker map, and we look at Ghost Town. It's not the best map for Horsemen versus Meltdown, because obviously Meltdown haven't lost it yet. So, I mean, tricky to predict Horsemen in this matchup, but it could go either way.
I think I don't necessarily think it is the most likely result to see Horsemen picking up a win. I certainly think this is coming in somewhere around like a 60-40 in the favour of Meltdown to pick up the win. But I can definitely see Horsemen pulling off a win here. If they all show up and if Meltdown has an off day, that's a very, very good chance that Horsemen can pull off the win here. It's just that they haven't been showing up this season. Not this season, but these couple of weeks. They definitely showed up in the first couple of weeks, but we haven't really seen that from Horsemen lately. quickly, and they've really been struggling. They struggled yesterday, they've struggled last week, so I'm definitely quite content with my 5-3 prediction there. I'm almost even thinking maybe Meltdown could pull this off with a better result than a 5-3 if they play as well as they did yesterday against Meltdown.
And Horsemen having a bad day.
Against Team Efficiency, sorry. But yeah, if Horseman is having a bad day as well, like Team Efficiency was yesterday, I think it's possible for Meltdown here to have a good day. But we're about to find out, I guess. Rurenberg to start things off. That's one for me, which has been a bit of a, I'm not huge fans of Meltdown here on Rurenberg, to be honest.
No, they do occasionally pick some weird setups here on Rurenberg. Never look super comfortable on it. I mean, they can play the FV215Bs, so we'd be expecting to see, there we go, two FV215Bs coming out from them. But the Horseman lineup, that is, like, this is what I call the brute force lineup here on Rurenberg. Just 3 Mausers, a few damage dealers thrown in aside from that on the attack. You can just press W up towards the 1 flag, and it's going to be hard to deal with them.
Yeah, the Waffenträger out PZ4 as well for Horsemen. Can get lots of damage out with that tank, of course.
Tier 9 German tank destroyer, of course.
Yep.
Precursor to the Griller 15. So going quite German today, actually. Horsemen, 4 out of 17. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 4 out of
4
17.
out of 7, yep. Generally speaking, pretty standard lineups on both sides there. 1390, not always seen on the defensive side of Rurenberg. A lot of the time we'll see, WZ, T54 lightweight, something like that that has a little bit more armor than the 1390, but I think the 1390 can work. And I mean, obviously we also see a lot of two tier 9 strategies really as well here on this map.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Pang Pang in that 1390 go down to the K0 line, I reckon. Look, right now, we do have the Horsemen semi-gearing up for a bit of a 1 flag push, actually. They've got their Mausers, Gorilla Archon and Hok Lao sitting in the center of the city here. So not really wanting to make any move just yet, but now we do see Archon heading down. Look, I'd like to see a 2 flag push here from the Mouse. I think it's been the most successful Mouse strategy here on the Rurenberg attack. And, I mean, Horsemen... Oh, actually, Pang Pang. But yeah, I just don't know if Meltdown will have the right tanks to deal with it here. Got a few FV215Bs which are good at dealing with it, and the IS4, but still lots of back chats as well.
Yeah, not too many committed movements just yet from the Horsemen. The Mousers are being both spotted out at the moment. They're firing some blind shots in the direction of Meltdown, but nothing really connecting at this point. Blast the only one to take any damage, and that was earlier on in the piece.
Yeah, so look, right now, bit of a stalemate, nothing too much happening. The Horsemen have been spotted out, so they don't really know whether it's just Pang Pang that spotted them out or whether there's some more Meltdown members down the bottom area of the map there. So, it's good for Meltdown that they have that kind of spotting pressure, I guess you could call it, on towards those 2 Horsemen Mausers. Means that they will be maybe slightly more reticent to move out, but potentially making the good read that it is just the AMX 1390, that they don't have to worry about too much when moving out there. So they are still moving.
Yep, Archon and Gorilla making their way down that part of the map. Really would be interesting to see how a team, if they set up with a whole Pang Pang.
Oh.
That's not great. That's really not great.
Not ideal. Look, he did spot out the Mousers, but yeah, taking 2 shots.
But he already had him spotted out. Like, he didn't need to take 2 shots for it.
Yeah. Not ideal. Anyways, Pang Pang there, I think he needs to maybe sit a little bit tight, get on the K0 area or somewhere around there.
I mean, he can't really contest the K0 area at only 214 HP. I think he needs to
not
find a
contest.
bush.
Yeah, exactly, not contest, but
sit
just sit in like a bush at the K0 area, even.
Oh, he's been spotted out again here. Neither of the Mousers have an angle on him just yet.
But he's actually sitting still.
Yeah, I don't see a way that he really gets out of here now. Like, I think he's just too far in without much of a chance of getting out.
Yeah, Pang Pang there might even spot out the Mousers, so they are going to pretty much have confirmation of where he is. But look at this, in the meantime, while those Mousers are being kind of playing around with Meltdown in the bottom area, the Horsemen, they're actually slowly working their way up towards this 1 flag.
Yeah, this is fairly standard from this kind of a lineup. having those two Mouses in towards that F sort of E line, causing a bit of a ruckus there with the rest of the lineup over towards the one flag. Yao is the one to get on the flag. I don't think he's going to be causing all that much pressure though to Meltdown at this point. You know, like he's pretty easy resets here.
Yeah, pretty easy resets. I mean, I really would like to see Nundesu start kind of getting some good shots in here with that Waffentrager of Panzer IV, because
look at this. Hokyao is just being rinsed by Meltdown, and he's going to go down. Easy pick for Meltdown.
Yeah, and well, we are going to be seeing actually the Horsemen going in with their bat chats. They need to find at least one kill here.
They're not going to.
Oh, not great there from the Horsemen. They haven't got Pathfinder down, and all of Meltdown are ready to defend this. In the meantime, their Horsemen Mousers in the center have not done too much work at all. I mean, Pathfinder and Vicestone a little bit low, but a little bit low isn't going to cut it.
Trade's pretty favourable so far for Meltdown. They've got a tank advantage, and you're right, there are some low tanks here for Meltdown, but low is not good enough at this point for Horsemen. They need to find those kills. Pathfinder, Vicestone will be off the reload shortly. Pathfinder not anymore because he's going to go down, but Blast does manage to trade out Spencer, so another 1-for-1. That works in the favour of Meltdown, considering they already had a tank advantage, and now we start to see the FV215Bs really get involved in this battle here. Cry over towards the side of the Mousers, Pink Pig over towards the side of the Bat Chats, and both of them really laying down the hurt here, while those Horseman tanks just aren't putting out as much damage.
Yeah, looking really, really good here for Meltdown, and again, Archon, he's going to be going down pretty soon as well. Sphinx just about dropped, Nundesu just about dropped, and this should be a pretty clear-cut Meltdown victory here on Ruinberg.
Yep, that strategy has not been well executed at all by Horseman. Like you said, they needed to pick up one of those Bat Chats early on, and they just didn't manage to do it at all. I think it was Pathfinder that was the one that got really low, but he managed to get around behind the corner. He had Backchat to back him up, and Horseman really didn't get all that much done there. And it always kind of looked like it was going to be a pretty easy win for Meltdown.
Yeah, I think so. Not great there for the Horsemen. And you know, I feel as though that mouse strategy works a lot better when we see all of those mouses actually pushing up from the bottom towards the 2 flag, rather than doing what they did there and kind of mucking around with the 1 flag. I just like the 1 flag is way too open on Ruinberg. It's so hard to actually make a push there work when the defenders are dug in, you know, because we had the Horsemen, they rotated a few of their tanks, and they had like 4 tanks at the 1 flag by the time all of the Horsemen pushed in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to push onto that 1 flag, you can't really just do it with a single mouse, because the mouse on its own offers no real threat. They needed to put probably 3 tanks on that cap, 2 of them behind the mouse, so that they could really get some pressure early on that cap. It would have made Meltdown scramble a little bit more for the resets, could have potentially forced an error, but in that case, you know, you saw how easy it was for Meltdown just to kill that single mouse. Hokyao did really nothing, to be honest, on that cap. So it was just too late by the time Horsemen decided they wanted to push in with those Bat Chats. I understand the point of the mouse there was to soak up some of those auto-loader shells, but it just didn't soak up enough, and there was just so much free damage going into that mouse that it was, you know, a situation that was unrecoverable, really, by Horsemen.
It really was. You know, like, oh, Meltdown looking good though. You've got to give it to them. They rotated very fast. They put the shells into the mouse when it counted, when they needed to. They got Hot Cloud down right on the money, you know, right on that 1 flag. Didn't let him put any pressure on whatsoever, really. And yeah, cleaned up the win. So this was Pink Pig. Yeah, I think this is just after that little mouse went down. Horsemen pushed Sphinx, they pushed Hawks up, but all of the Meltdown crew were ready for it, and you know, it didn't seem to be an issue that one of their Bat Chats might have been on the reload from killing the mouse. They still had 3 tanks on that 1 flag. It was easy.
I mean, look at how convincing that is. A 5,000 HP advantage at the end for Meltdown there.
Massive.
5 tanks alive. It's not a great start there for the Horsemen. Sphinx and Gorilla doing the most damage for their team, but in reality, there you see lots of nice, cute nuclear bombs, Alex.
Yeah, cute nuclear bombs.
It's cute, like a nuclear bomb.
That's Valiant.
It's a little bit cute. I like that guy. He's done a good job as well. 2,700.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised that they even took him out of the roster. I mean, or maybe he had to leave himself. I'm not too sure at the beginning of this season, but Valiant with 2.7k damage. Cannot complain about that. Sphinx in the match. Good to see. Look, that's one positive sign for the Horsemen. Sphinx being up the top for them with 2.3k damage, because I think in any match where Horsemen win, they do need Sphinx to be up there. I think this season in particular. And yeah, Hokiao. Mouse. I could have done that, Jordan. I could have driven out into the cap and died.
Yeah, well, that seems to be your specialty at times.
Yeah. Well, it is.
Not in the mouse.
Or in the Object 263,
In
I
the
do it.
263, yeah.
Honestly, if I could have run out into the cap with the 260, I think it would have ricocheted more shots than Hokiao did as well.
Well, yeah, he certainly didn't do a very good job of that at all. It didn't work out nicely for the Horsemen. And to see them, to see Meltdown getting such a convincing win on Runeberg like that, I mean, I've always sort of felt like they're not too bad on the defense, but on the attack is what kind of lets them down. It's the CDC strat. They always kind of try to cheese it out on the attack, and I just don't like the way they play the attack. I don't like their style. But to see them get a pretty convincing win like that, makes me feel like maybe they have a good chance here heading into, some of these maps, that were kind of a bit more of a toss-up. Runeberg was a bit of a toss-up. I'm still not sure I'm going to give them the win here yet on the second half of Runeberg. I think this one's probably a 1-1.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Horsemen should be able to come back in towards this one. They should be able to even it out at 1-1. I would be surprised to see Meltdown actually come back and win the attacking side here. They have, like you said, put out some interesting strategies over the last wee while, I suppose. They did do the CDC last week, where they picked the CDC, but they didn't CDC.
Yeah, they took it over to the 2 flag. This time, Meltdown not... Oh, never mind.
CDC.
I spoke too soon. I looked towards the bottom. I saw an object 140. I was like, yep, okay, cool. That's normally where the CDC sits, but there's a CDC there for Meltdown. So, rip. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I mean, it can work, but it just feels to me like it's so situational. I mean, I guess Meltdown did show that it can work without using the CDC.
I like it as a mind game. So really, I will like this if Meltdown don't push towards the 1 flag, and if they push towards the 2 flag, Horsemen, the idea is that the Horsemen kind of double guess them and push, get their tanks ready to defend a 1 flag CDC attack.
Yeah,
look at this,
over to the
Meltdown, exactly, doing the 2 flag.
And very quickly as well, straight out there as fast as they can.
That's what they need to do. And look at this, we can see that Archon, Nandesu and Spencer, so 3 tanks instead of the usual 2, allocated towards that 1 flag defense there from the Horsemen. So, that might be the mind games working for them.
Yeah, certainly some mind games going on here. Horsemen have a lot to think about. Time for us to think about it with the Horsemen. Let's go and listen in and see how they're going.
我们北边要退了吗？还是不要？
往这边走，往这边走，武林币，都往这边走，所有人都往这边走。
要让他可以
要让他
进城吗？
自己给到这边的视野就可以了。
我手点是不是？
你就在这边给到这里的视野。
好，了解。
252B 自己慢慢往前开啊。那个武林币和这个252B 准备进去这个老鼠。
我被亮，我不知道，哎。
你加速去就可以了。132往这个中道走，132准备去。
132走到这边之后，往这边走过去，还是来到中间？
绕后，先到这边去看一下有没有断后的。这个武林币下去啊，准备进去跟这个252B 打这个老鼠。上面的2台中坦自己先卡后一点。武林币快一点。252B 准备加速进去。
没有。
再10秒。
你准备往这边走，去后点骚扰。
了解。
2B 走，2B 走。
Well, that was a little bit interesting, Alex. I'm not entirely sure what Hawks was doing there, driving down that line pretty much on his own. He had no backup. The rest of the Horsemen were still towards the northern part of the map, but gives away a free kill to Meltdown, and it's a 2-for-2 trade overall at the moment. Very, very slight health advantage for Meltdown after that little trade there, but equalized now by Horsemen. Still, though, it's pretty much too close to call.
Very, very hard to call right now, Horsemen. Oh, Spencer gets a bit of air in that WZ132, but look, Horsemen, they've lost Hawks, they've lost Sphinx. Hokiao isn't looking too good right now, and the issue for them is that Meltdown pushing onto Gorilla.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Horsemen. I thought it was going to be okay, but they've wasted so much time trying to get rid of Valiant here. Still a 50B and an FV2 15B sitting in that position. I mean, Hokiao could potentially go down If Valiant hits a nice shot, that's not nice though, it bounces off his turret. Valiant does go down, but he used up so much time of the Horseman there.
Yeah.
And now Nandesu only has a couple of shots left in his 50B clip. I don't think this is going the way of the Horseman. I mean, it was so close, but then they just have wasted too much time, and Meltdown have capitalized on it.
Yeah, this is a big struggle here for the Horsemen, I think, to try and come back from this one. Maybe Nandesu, he should be reloaded in the AMX 50B, so he might actually be able to, make a difference here. Although with Archon taking all of those shots and the Meltdown guys having control of this town, it's going to be a big uphill battle.
Yep, certainly is. Pathfinder surviving there. Nandesu doesn't have enough damage to clip him out, and now it's really, I guess, just down to Spencer, see how much he can get done here, but that's probably not going to be all that much because, well, he's a tier 8 tank up against a bunch of tier 10s. Can't expect all that much. He does take down Pathfinder, but for me, that's a wooden spoon prize right now. Hokia surviving through to the end here for Horsemen, but not for much longer. It's going to be a Meltdown 2-0 after the first 2 rounds, and Ruhlberg, good start for Meltdown.
Bit surprised to see that, honestly. I was really thinking for a 1-1.
Yep.
But just like that, Meltdown get the 2-0.
They do, and that was Horseman's pick as well. So not a great sign.
Yeah, I'm still not a big fan of Horsemen picking Nuremberg at all. It's
Yeah.
not an amazing map for them. 33% win rate on the attack, 60% win rate on the defense. It's a bit of a struggle. So
Yeah, would have sooner seen like a Himmelsdorf or a Cliff probably from Horsemen there. I think they would have had a better chance on either of those maps, but Nuremberg not working out too nicely for them. Going to have to set their sights now on Ghost Town, which has been a decent map for them, but also a very good map for Meltdown. So hard to say how this one's going to go, but looking forward to seeing how Ghost Town turns out.
it might be. I mean, it might be the first time that that Meltdown need to lose a game on Ghost Town, if that makes any sense, because they do have a 100% win rate on it so far this season. So, I don't think that really deserves to be at 100% because they're good at it, but they're not,
Yeah.
So maybe through that statistical logic, we might be seeing Horsemen pull off 1-1 here, maybe.
I think Horseman's good enough to find a 1-1 against Meltdown on Ghost Town.
And they're not looking like super potato. That would just look like Rurenberg, not going well. So
Yeah, well, looking at the replay,
that looks super potato.
That looked super. Like, look at the positions here, actually, of
Yeah,
Horsemen.
yeah.
All of them up towards the north. Barely anyone can get shots in there to help Hawks. Maybe Hokyao, and I think there was an FV215B on that 0 line for Horsemen, but there was so many tanks for Horsemen still on the rotate. I'm not sure why he chose that time to actually push down there. It's not like they needed to reset desperately or anything like that. He could have easily waited another 30 seconds.
Yep. It would not have been too hard. But he didn't. So, yeah, there we go. Now we stand with Meltdown 2-0. And at the end of it there, I mean, dedicating so many, 2 tanks, I guess, to take down that mouse. Not sure if worth for the Horsemen. But look, Hokyao. First time we've seen him on the top of the scoreboard with that much damage, I think.
Yeah, but he survived for the longest time out of any of the Horsemen.
Yeah.
Probably got a lot more damage out. He was one of the ones shooting that mouse in the middle alley. So, yes, he got the damage out, but really, was it super impactful damage? Not really. And I think the damage coming out there from Vicetone in the bat chat, 4.2k, Blast in his bat chat, 3k, I think is more noteworthy, really, than the 4.7 from Hokyao.
Yep. There we go. So, Valiant as well, up on the top, ended up position 4 for Meltdown, or 7 overall, with 1.6k damage. What else we got down there? Oh, the CDC.
Hey, Hawks did no
strat
damage.
works again. Yeah, Hawks did none. I'm not surprised, though.
No.
Probably blocked a bit, but
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. But yeah, that CDC dealing 480 damage there for Mr. Pang Pang.
That's only a couple of shots worth of damage, really. It's not that big of a deal.
Nah, not at all. I mean, he did get 1 kill, so
Yep.
worth. But yeah, Gorilla and Archon, 1200, 1400 respectively. I think they can put that map behind them now, the Horsemen. So, look, if they move forward, look forward to Ghost Town now, I think. Actually, I wonder. I'm trying to remember where the Horsemen picked the UDES on Ghost Town.
They should. No, they
Oh,
they actually picked the artillery.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about, because if Horsemen move on to Ghost Town now and they start picking artilleries on defense, or they pick up 1 artillery on the defensive side, then I'll write that off for them right away, because you can't win on Ghost Town in the current metagame with an artillery on the defense.
Well, they have.
Have they?
Yeah, against DL.
Have they?
Yep.
Oh, that's EL though. EL a potato and goes down. So that
Yeah, but it's
doesn't count.
EL.
Doesn't count. But yeah, I think the Udes needs to be picked here for the Horsemen.
Yeah.
I think, look, they've tried out the Artie. It hasn't worked against any team apart from EL, who are potato and goes down.
Okay.
And yeah.
Do you like your potatoes tonight, Alex?
I love my potatoes tonight. I had some potato fries tonight for
I
dinner
don't want
as
to
well.
hear about what you had for dinner.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Had some pizza as well.
Pizza
Wasn't
was
that
good.
great? Oh,
Yeah, it was alright. It's pizza. Like, it's hard to go wrong, really. Anyway, digressing a lot.
I tell you what I have had though. I just had a Tog chocolate, which I'll show everyone. Wait a sec. It's a hot chocolate in my Tog mug. That's why I call it a Tog chocolate.
Great, Alex. I'm very impressed.
Thanks.
You know, you're like an everyday mastermind.
Yeah.
Come up with these, you know, super witty, creative ways of
Thank you.
describing
I do.
your hot chocolate.
Yeah. Well, it was the Togacino yesterday, but that's because it was a cappuccino, not a hot
God's
chocolate.
sake. Can you just leave? Like,
I've already left one.
bring Rogie back in
I've
here.
already left once today. I left after
Team
Team
efficiency killed
efficiency,
themselves. Yeah.
yeah, fell off the cliff twice or rolled themselves twice. So I've already done all my leaving for today. No more leaving.
Okay.
And
Well,
I'm pretty happy sat here because, of course, just before this match, we did run a bit of a poll,
Oh.
funnily enough, in the chat.
I heard
and
about this.
64.5% of people apparently said that well, they prefer the fashionable blue shirt here. as
No,
opposed to
they
the
didn't.
boring
They
white
didn't say
shirt.
that. They said they liked the blue shirt.
Oh, no, I worded it right.
No,
Yeah, it was... Yeah.
I don't think that's true. See, there's the sweaty Blakey emoji. That means you're saying something dumb.
No.
Yes.
no.
I saw a lot of people in the chat actually saying that it looked like you'd been shopping in the kids section. So
Well, it's a tight-fitting shirt. You know, that's the
so is
idea.
this.
It is a slim fit. No, this is a specific slim fit.
this is a slim
so-
fit as well, mate. I bought it.
Doesn't look too slim.
It's because I'm a very, very skinny guy. It still looks big on me.
Well, maybe you've been shopping in the adult section.
This
when
is an
you-
extra small slim.
when you should have been shopping in the kids section.
Maybe. But I still
No?
come out with a better looking shirt than you do. So
No chance.
that's what matters.
The
And
stats
it cost me a
don't-
third of the
The
price.
stats don't lie.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I think you
alright.
can tell that. Anyways.
Mate. Alright. Let's not talk about our shirts all that much
Well,
more.
this is
People-
getting more heated than the game. I think we
People don't tune in to watch us talking about our fashion.
don't reckon.
No, I don't,
Don't reckon?
I don't think so. But look, that's yeah. You know, we're just waiting for these teams to get their tanks locked in here, so that we can have something to talk about. Ghost Town, we've already kind of said, you know, we think Meltdown coming into this one should have a pretty good time, but Horsemen also not too bad on Ghost Town, so it could be a 1-1. I'm thinking probably 3-1 after this, and then we'll see what happens on Muravanka. That one's a difficult one to predict as well.
Yeah, Muro will be hard. I think Muro, I mean, both of these teams not too bad on Muravanka. Feels that they can play it, but we haven't seen too much success from memory on Meltdown's Muravanka.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't played it, really. They've played
Much,
it once,
yeah.
or twice, won both times, but it's such a small sample size, you can't really draw too many conclusions again into that. And I don't even remember who they played it against. It could have been against Dark Wolves, and that would have been basically a free win anyway.
Exactly. But anyways,
So-
it's Ghost Town time. Now, Jordan.
GTT.
GTT.
Ghost Town time.
Hashtag GTT. Get it going, guys. It is, of course, Ghost Town. Very symmetrical map designed for esports, and we're definitely expecting these teams to pick lots of heavy tanks up here.
Well, not... Well, okay, there's a lot of heavy tanks. that's
Horsemen
fair,
win.
But
Calling it right now. Horsemen win. They've got the UDES. They've got the two FV215Bs. They're going to do really well against Meltdown's lineup there. The one bat chat to kind of go up against Meltdown's bat chat there. I mean, yeah, and the 113, which is just a little bit of extra kind of oomph. Meltdown on the other side, they've got the 3 AMX50Bs, which actually won't be too bad, and the 2 WZ111s on the attack. So typically we'd see, you know, in the olden days, we'd see the WZ111s pushed up towards that
The
white
olden
flag.
days.
The olden days.
back in my day, the
Back in the
WZ111 would push on the flag and, you know, they'd have a good
There
time.
wouldn't be any darn Swedish tank destroyers up there to reset it.
Jeez. It's getting too late. I think we probably should just leave and go to bed. You know, it's really devolving into
I think it's more
a bit
entertaining.
random.
Not at all. But look, we will be jumping into the match very, very soon. I think after seeing those tank picks, look, UDES, Ghost Town, defense, solid lineup to back it up. Horsemen, unless they majorly, screw this up, I'm definitely betting on them to take out this defensive hub.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We have seen Meltdown with a lot of success on Ghost Town.
So you're going for them?
I did say 1-1. I'm not sure if it's necessarily going to be defense-sided. It's really too close to call, I think, here, to be honest. Like, this could go either way. I really want to see which way Meltdown goes about this attack because, they could still put those WZs on the flag. Probably would be some pretty easy resets for the UDES, but are they going to maybe be able to bait something out as a result of that? I don't know. It just does come down to the actual game for me. This one is too close for me to call a prediction, aside from saying it's a 1-1.
I don't blame
And I only say that because I think it's close. Like,
yeah.
It really could go either way.
I don't blame you for thinking that. I mean, look, if maybe the Horsemen on defense here had a couple of super heavies thrown in there to counter out those auto loaders, then I would say, with super confidence it will be a Horseman win here on the defense. But I just think it's probably leaning towards that. Meltdown, it's about time they lost a game on Ghost Town as well.
Yeah.
100% win rate so far, like we said. But Meltdown not really coming into this with a particularly crazy lineup. We've seen that time and time before from them, from other teams. It's not earth-shattering in any way. It's just lots of damage, lots of heavies, a few tier 9 heavies.
Yeah, and that's a kind of a polarizing team, really. Like, it can just completely wreck your opponent, or it can get completely wrecked. So that's why I'm still a little bit hesitant to say how this one is going to go. I probably would favor... I actually think maybe the defensive side for both of these teams, but... it really can go either way. I mean, that's kind of the way the whole series could go as well. Like, if Horsemen really step up, they could definitely take this series. It's just so up in the air.
5-4, yeah, absolutely. So, I am hoping Horsemen step up here. One, because of my prediction. Two, so we get a good game. It is, our last game of the night, so it would be good to end it on a good one, I guess. Meltdown, definitely not going to make it easy for them here on Ghost Town.
No, definitely not. Meltdown.
I wonder if Meltdown will try for like a 2-flag push.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
But
even then, the UDES can still get involved in that fight.
Exactly, no. And Meltdown, from memory, have played around the 2-flag before, but never actually committed to a full-on get all your tanks in and try and win by capping 2-flag push.
Well, that doesn't seem like something that most teams really do. Like,
no,
generally,
because it's bad.
They just put a single tank on there, try and bait something out from the defenders and see if they can win a trade that way. I'd say that's probably the best option of choice here for Meltdown, although, who are they going to put on that 2-flag? Really? WZs, I guess, but they're too big to kind of hide behind that little structure in the middle.
I don't know. You should never, in my eyes, you should never, ever, ever put tanks on towards the 2-flag in 7v7 Ghost Town competitive on attack. Because there are just way too many, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 easy corners that you have to look at whilst you're on that flag and cover. 6, 6 openings to the flag, which not easy. And it means that the tanks can just poke in front, the defending tanks can poke in front of any one of those 6 openings, get a shot off, poke back behind it. You can't cover them all. So that's why I don't like the 2-flag.
Yeah, maybe they even just decide to try and take a brawl, go very aggressive in towards, in towards basically just where the Horsemen are set up. Like, I don't know. They don't necessarily need to go for a push onto the flag. It's typically what we see happen, though. So, questions abound.
Questions abound. Well, guys, let us know what you think is going to happen here with the hashtag WGL APAC. Remember to get involved with the Twitters. We've had some big response to our Twitter tonight. We've had lots of people on the Twitters getting the retweets happening, particularly with that team efficiency fail against EL.
The fails always get the retweets.
Almost up to 100. Make it 100, guys. Make it 100.
Probably is up to 100 now.
Might be.
It's been a while.
I could check, but I won't. 107 now.
107. Wow.
There you go. Amazing. Good stuff. Well, that's always good to see.
I might give it a retweet after this. I haven't checked Twitter tonight.
Oh, you need a retweet. Absolutely, Jordan. You know what? I think that's something that our colleagues over in WGLNA and WGLEU get a little bit jealous of sometimes when they see the amazing fails and the fun that we have here on the WGL APAC live stream. The fun. Absolutely. I think we're the funnest region, Jordan.
You reckon?
And yes,
you know,
I
there
know
are-
that's not a word.
There are some strange occurrences at times in WGL APAC, that's for sure. We're actually the only region that does the fails, but I think the other regions, surely the other regions have enough to put a fail compilation together as well, I would think.
We are APAC. We are APAC, so I mean, look. I think our teams are better this season, so hopefully they won't
They
do
do
badly.
well. I think
I mean-
EL's weaker this season. I think everyone else is stronger this season.
Yeah. EL probably a little bit weaker. But again, maybe even though they're weaker, their playstyle suits international play better. But enough of that.
Maybe.
We can worry about the grand finals when that comes later on this year. And right now we can worry about Meltdown versus the Horsemen. Bit of a boost happening for the Udos.
No surprises there at all. Meltdown making their way in the direction of the one flag. So probably we'll be seeing WZs in that area. Should be pretty easy resets, you would think, for the Udos.
You would think. Right now, Meltdown just moving up towards one flag. This is interesting. I don't really think this is the place where they want to fight, because Udes will just get free reset after free reset. Or even just damage after damage, shot after shot. So again, it's so tricky when you're playing against Udes, because like this entire top quadrant of the map just becomes so much harder to fight on when you've got, you know, a 2,000 plus damage per minute tank destroyer just raining down on you from an invulnerable position almost.
Yeah. He barely ever gets spotted.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's invulnerable.
Well, that's, I think, part of the reason why Meltdown has decided they want to rotate back towards the southern part of the map. Vicetone, ever present in his bat chat, lurking around. He could be a crucial player here for Meltdown if he can get a good flank on. But let's see how they go, because it's not, you know, it's not by any means a sure thing here for Meltdown, despite having that 100% win rate so far on this map.
Yep. Right now, we do see Horsemen with an interesting defensive setup. We don't often see these teams, well, one, so split up on the defense, and two, pushed so far down. It's not something we always see.
Oh, that's not good for Meltdown. They've all been spotted out. They've all taken a huge
Oh,
chunk of damage.
look
Look
at
at
that.
that setup for the AMX 50Bs of Horsemen. Meltdown have just completely walked into this trap. They need to trade something back, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that. Nandesu taking some shots at Vicetone, who responds with some in kind. Archon gets tracked, but he'll get out of there okay. Nandesu might be a dangerous cross. He takes another shot. So overall, Meltdown at least have been able to put some damage back into Horsemen. Now Hokyao really under pressure. He's gone below half HP and he's still taking damage here. Pink Pick pushing forward into what is a very big stack of Horsemen players, so he needs to be careful. Pang Pang now pushing his way forward. Hokyao should go down to this shot from the WZ. In the end, it's actually Pink Pick to take him down, and Pang Pang hangs onto his shot. He gets that one into Archon. I think, well, it's a decent trade for Meltdown, but there's some low HP tanks there, and Pang Pang gets absolutely ripped to shreds by Archon. It's 1-for-1 so far. Tier 9 though for Tier 10. Meltdown with the advantage in that sense, and the health looking like it's slightly favourable for Meltdown, but this one's still too close to call, Alex.
Yeah, still too close to call, and let's not forget Spencer all this time. He's going to be starting to really rack up the damage now, or at least he should be, so really need to see Horsemen take down a few more of these Meltdown guys. I've taken down 2 so far, but Meltdown with the 1 tank advantage right now. Who's going to be going down next? It looks like it might actually be Spencer.
And it is indeed going to be Spencer going down there. Gorilla might be able to get a shot off here, but in the end, actually, Sphinx takes down Pathfinder. Gorilla's going to kill Vicetone, who comes streaming across the gap there. He probably would have been better off just hiding behind some sort of a building, but in the end, I think Gorilla's going to go down here. Sphinx probably should be going down to blast, assuming he hits his shot, which he does. And this is looking like it should be Meltdown wrapping things up. I don't think there's much of a chance for Hawks here to 1v3 this one.
Yeah, no, I'm not really liking Hawks' chances here. Blast is on the reload, so Hawks, I mean, yeah, he needs 2 more shots to take out Valiant, which he might get, to be fair. Maybe. He does actually get that one, which is quite nice, but he needed to polish off Valiant in that shot to then have a shot against Cry, and even then it would have been a real stretch, unfortunately, there for Hawks. So he will be going down, and it will be a Meltdown victory, making it 3-0.
Oh, 3-0, sorry.
3-0.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 5-3.
We've skipped some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-0, sorry. But Not a good start here for Horsemen. You know, you said you thought they were going to have a pretty decent time on the defense here with that UDES, but I got to say, I felt like that UDES didn't do all that much. I didn't notice much damage coming out from it. Probably was doing some damage. It's always kind of hard to gauge how much damage the UDES
unless
is
you're
doing.
actually looking at it. You're
Exactly.
right, but I'm actually kind of with you on that one. I didn't see many shots hitting. I didn't really notice it, and obviously it got taken down as well. So
yeah. It started off so well there for Horsemen as well. They got a big early trade, but Meltdown just continued that push. They continued pushing, and the 50Bs were on the reload. Meltdown took advantage of that and eventually started to win the trades, which I thought wasn't going to happen because I thought the 50Bs were out. I thought they were going to get the reload off, and I thought Meltdown was essentially in the bin, but they somehow managed to climb their way out and ascend
yes,
out of the bin.
Like a fruit fly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I just took some bins out before our stream today, and there are a few flies that came out. So
Yeah,
all I can think
well,
of.
Meltdown the fruit flies.
Not really too endearing, is it?
No, it's not. But it certainly worked out nicely for them there on Ghost Town. Horsemen really, again, another round which they could have won, but they just didn't manage to pull it off. And if this continues in the same fashion, Meltdown are going to pull off a pretty easy win here tonight.
I think so. Meltdown here. Look, they did take that damage early on, but I think the other issue for the Horsemen there is that they did have to rotate both Hawks and Gorilla down. It took them about 20 seconds to actually get involved with the fight, which is 20 seconds where they couldn't really contribute much in the way of damage. The Horsemen AMX 50Bs that got that early damage off, they both took a few shots getting back into their defensive positions while they were reloading, so that didn't help. And yeah, I think we are going to be seeing Spencer here for the Horsemen not having done a whole lot of anything.
Let's find out. Nope, no UDES up in the top 7, so that's not a good sign initially for Horsemen. Hawks got a bit done, Archon got a bit done, Sphinx got a bit done, but I mean, Hokyao, he got taken down very early there by Meltdown. I'd say he's probably down towards the lower end of things. The UDES probably down towards the lower end of things, and 350Bs up the top there for Meltdown. Things have gone essentially the exact way that they would have wanted.
Yeah, it's not great for the Horsemen, not great for mine or Max's prediction either. As we are going to be seeing down the bottom of the scoreboard here. Let's have a look at...
I mean, to be fair, it's not looking that great for my prediction either. Like,
yeah, look at that. Look, Spencer, 13 shots fired, hit about 3 of them. That is not ideal. Maybe even 2 of them, really.
Yeah, not a good sign for Horsemen there. But yeah, like, I mean, it's not even really looking that good for my prediction either. I said 3 rounds on the board for Horsemen, and as far as I'm concerned, they're not looking like they're getting 3 rounds on the board today.
Not today. But, I mean, look, we've got to give credit where credit's due. Meltdown here playing this one quite well. Valiant as well. You know, we thought that Valiant might be, I don't know, a bit of an unknown factor coming in to the Meltdown lineup. But yesterday he's played pretty well. I think today he's actually playing even better. Honestly,
he's doing good.
He's keeping up towards the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah.
You know, last season he was a good player on Meltdown's roster as well. That's why they made it to our Season 1 finals.
And it's got to be said, I mean, for a lot of that season, Meltdown was actually looking like the second best team here. They were defeating B Gaming, and they actually came into the finals in second seed ahead of B Gaming. They did lose 7-6 to B Gaming at the finals, but you know, they were up something like 7-4 and somehow, or 6-4, sorry, 6-4 or 6-3, but somehow managed to lose 3 or 4 rounds in a row. And you know, that really, to me, it almost looked like Meltdown probably should have been through to the finals against EO Gaming in that matchup. But B Gaming pulled it off in the end, and ever since then we've kind of been like, okay, B Gaming's the next best team in APAC, at least for Season 1. But Meltdown was really so close that it could have almost gone either way there. So to see them here again, starting to get a bit of a resurgence into Season 2 is, I think, a very good sign here for the league, because it's just another team contesting for that top spot.
Yep, you're not wrong. And we do see Meltdown there with the UDES. Again, on the defensive side. Apart from that, it's pretty much just a standard Meltdown lineup. I like how these teams are starting to revert back to the FE215B, because we've seen a little bit of kind of, you know, like random stuff so far this season, to put it bluntly. You know, we've seen the T57s, we've seen the Kranwagens, which I did initially like in week 1.
Yeah, team did experiment a little bit early on in Ghost Town. And even, to be honest, the FE250B was never kind of a mainstay on this map in Season 1.
I think we did see it a little bit. But you're right, particularly towards the end of Season 1, we didn't see it too often, but I like it. It's still a solid tank. It's got 2.5k HP, it's got a great gun, you know, good armor, good at brawling, it does the job.
Early onto the cap, though, here is Spencer for Horsemen. I like that, you know, just getting the RU251 on. They're not committing much to the cap, but it is forcing Meltdown to think, how are we going to get this reset here? They're forced to move.
I don't like this. I don't like this, Jordan. It's the 2 cap. It's the 2 cap. Spencer's on here. It's going to be easy resets from anyone on the Meltdown roster that that wants to. And again, it just gives them a big beacon. Meltdown, no, okay. Horsemen, they're around the 2 cap here.
This is setting up to be actually a pretty good-looking situation for Meltdown, because you can see there's 3 tanks up towards the north there for Horsemen.
Yep.
All the Meltdown tanks towards the south. If they can isolate Hokyao, isolate Sphinx or Spencer, something like that, it's going to be a favourable trade here for Meltdown,
Reset.
no questions asked. And there is a pretty easy reset, as you say, onto Spencer. I really, really want to see these Horsemen tanks rotating.
I just don't see why you'd even bother having the RU251 on the cap, because I'm sure Meltdown, if they wanted to on the defense here, they wouldn't even need to worry about it. They could just leave Blast to get the perma resets. Like, so very little pressure being exerted so far from the Horsemen. Instead, Spencer is just giving away free damage on that RU251.
Yeah, he's really not putting that much pressure on Meltdown right now, is he?
Nope. You need like an ELC AMX to sit in there or something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't go down tier. You have to take the tier 8 or the 2 tier 9s.
Yeah, so I guess an AMX
Like if you would think about it by that perspective, you'd put probably a PZ1C actually in there, because it's fast. Could get in there almost the same time probably as an RU.
Yeah, probably.
And it would really just sit in that little cubby hole and be almost impossible to reset.
Yep. I think that'd be a pretty good idea. But right now, that is not the idea that well, can be enacted. So we do have Meltdown on the defense, just continuously getting these resets. Hokyao actually getting a nice shot there in towards Valiant, so Spencer doing his job and spotting out that FV215B. Gorilla making the rotate here as well, so this is getting aggressive here from the Horsemen. They're pushing up on towards these Meltdown guys.
Nice shot from Gorilla, favourable trade in that sense, but Horsemen do take a couple in response, so Meltdown still hanging in there with the damage. It's, well, the brawl very, very soon to start here. The storm is brewing, Alex, because Horsemen are starting to make their moves. Hokyao takes a shot into Valiant, who gets set on fire. The FV215B very susceptible to that, and it doesn't look like Valiant has got a fire extinguisher. That is unfortunate for him. He will go down to Hokyao. There is a trade out. Blast does take down Hokyao. The UDES starting to make work happen for Meltdown, but is it going to be enough? Because the trades at the moment looking like they're favouring Horsemen. They have a tank advantage. Oh no, they don't. Hokyao's gone down, so it's even, but the health advantage, certainly with Horsemen.
Very much in their favour, but in saying that, Hawks has just gone down, so the tank advantage now going in favour of Meltdown. Pathfinder's getting dropped very, very low right now, and just not convinced in Horsemen's positions on the flag. They don't have much room to manoeuvre right now. Meltdown are controlling the engagements in this fight.
Yeah, they are. Cry looking to push forward here and take down Archon. Does he need just one more shot? No, it's not going to be enough. 22 HP still on Archon. He's got a chance to get some more damage out here if he can get at least another shot out.
They need the reset.
Pang Pang kills Cry, and that's unfortunate, but the reset does come out here. Gorilla is still available here to put some damage into Pang Pang, who might only get one more shot out here. I don't think he'll be able to get a reload. It's going to be a 3 versus 3. No, it's now a 2 versus 3 in the favour of Meltdown, actually, but Ping Ping clinging to dear life with only 31 HP. Pang Pang goes down. It's now a 2 versus 2. Spencer and Sphinx alive for the Horsemen. Blast and Pink Pig alive for Meltdown. But an FV215B and a UDES against a Batchat and an RU. I think Horsemen have got this.
Oh, but look, that was so close to the UDES getting another shot off against the Batchat. Oh my goodness, Sphinx. What? He's spotted.
Yeah, Spencer has to be the one here. Like, Pink Pig knows he has to kill Spencer because he's the danger at this point. Sphinx is on the reload. Unfortunately, though, that's going to allow Sphinx to run away here and reload. I don't think Pink Pig can actually catch Spencer because RU, FV215B, fast, slow, you know how it is.
Yeah, actually, this is quite funny because I don't think he will be able to catch him. See, RU could just do Benny Hill around the flag.
Well, it's hard, not really Benny Hill at the moment. It's far too slow. Oh, and Sphinx is off the load. He somehow bounced that first shot, but Spencer comes in with the second, and Pink Pig goes down. So, a round on the board for Horsemen. 1-1 after Ghost Town, 3-1 as expected.
There we go. Okay. It's good for the Horsemen, and I'll be honest, a little bit surprised that they ended up winning that one. It was close, but...
It was very close. I mean, for example, say Valiant doesn't get set on fire there. Does he survive take another shot and deal another shot? Who knows? It's so close.
Maybe.
If he had a fire extinguisher. I'm actually kind of surprised he's not taken a fire extinguisher there on the FE215B because it gets sets on fire all the time.
Because I drive the FE215B 183, which is obviously the same sort of hull design as the 215B, just with a bigger gun, and it gets set on fire so often. Like I actually put an automatic fire extinguisher on there just because of how often it gets set on fire. It's like I just don't want to worry about it. Just want to get it extinguished. If it costs me 20k credits, then just get it done. Sort of thing.
Nah, I have a lot of fire extinguishers actually saved up because you don't use them every single game, So I have like hundreds just from getting missions done and that kind of thing. So anyway, a bit irrelevant, but and certainly very irrelevant here in WGL. None of the players are even paying for their own fire extinguishers and whatnot. That's why they all like to take food because it's free, essentially.
Yeah. Free food. Everyone loves free food.
I love food. But Horsemen at least able to get one on the board here. It again looked very, very close. That could have gone the way of Meltdown. We could very easily have found ourselves here at a 4-0, but not the case. Horsemen still clinging on.
Well, look, I think 3-1. If they come back from this now, if they get this second win, if they get the second win in a row on our next map, which is, I believe, Murakami, then we could be seeing Horsemen coming back into the zone. I wouldn't actually be surprised to see the Horsemen getting a win here on Murray. But anyway, let's think back a little bit to see what went wrong. And look, that Valiant 900, 1000, almost 1100 damage from fire before he finally gets shot down from Hokiao. That's just so disappointing.
Let me have a look. 402, decent roll there. And yeah, it would have been about another 400 roll there from Cry. So I can't really say that was down to the damage rolls for Cry not being able to pick up Archon. Pang taking down Cry. That could have been another crucial part. If that shot had have gone into an enemy as opposed to a friendly for Meltdown, that could have turned things around. And at this point, it really did feel like Horseman was going to win. Like, I didn't think there was a situation where a Batch had an RU lose to a UDES and an FE215B. It was just going to be the mobility. It was going to be so useful.
Yep. And there we go, Sphinx up the top. Whenever Horsemen win, he's somewhere to be seen. With 3,000 damage, he very much was seen in that battle. Cry next up with Blast, and they've done pretty well. Blast in that UDES, dealing 2.7 thousand damage with 18 shots fired. Look, he did a good job for the UDES on the defense, but unfortunately just not enough.
Not enough at all. Not even really nearly enough, considering they didn't win. So, unfortunate for Meltdown there. They would have hoped to be 4-0 at this point, and that would have been a really crushing blow to Horsemen. But now there's a chance for Horsemen to get back into it. It's small. 3-1 is not easy to come back from, but it's definitely a chance.
Yeah, technically speaking, all of our predictions could still be right now. Horsemen could come back in 5-3 Meltdown, so Max is still in it.
Slim chance, mate, though. But it's possible.
I'm 5-4, which I think is slightly more realistic.
We have seen Horsemen come back from a 3-0 deficit before. That was against Karen Tiger. The first match of the season came back to a 5-3 victory after being 3-0 down. And Ghost Town was the catalyst of it, where they did pick up a 2-0. But we've seen Ghost Town go by now, 1-1. I really don't think it's going to be a Horseman win still here. I feel like Meltdown, that was very, very close for them. A few things didn't go their way. Maybe you could put it down to a little bit of bad luck there for Meltdown losing that one, to be honest. Horseman didn't really convince me yet. I want to see a little bit more from them. We need to see at least 1 or 2 more rounds on the board before I start thinking Horseman's got a shot in this one.
Yeah, well, look, Horsemen, if they do have a shot in this one, they're going to need to show it in this next one here on Muravanka.
Yep.
Of course, it is a map that both the attack and defense do play quite differently. Defensive sides on Muravanka are very rarely aggressive, I guess. We often see the defenders just sit right back on towards that hill near the 2 flag, maybe pop a tier 8, like an AMX 1390, very high camo value, out to scout out that southern flag there as well. probably be expecting a few hold down tanks on the defense as well. They can often use those little ridges and hills on Muravanka to protect themselves.
Well, let's find out what it's going to be here. Meltdown with a Crown Wagon and a T57 Heavy. So just the single hold down tank, really the Crown Wagon, T57 Heavy. You can pen the turret. Crown Wagon and T110E5 for Horsemen. So a little bit more of a bouncier lineup in terms of the heavies there from Horsemen, but it's very, very similar. The lineup's looking very, very close. Double batch at AP instead of the 1390 from Meltdown, but there's not much between the two teams here.
Not much at all, actually. But Jordan, do you want a fun fact?
Sure. I'd love a fun
The T57 heavy tank.
Yep.
This season, what is its win rate?
30%.
Oh, I think it might have been 30% last week.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
It's 21%. Oh. It's a shocker. It's a shocker. It's not a great tank, to be honest. And I mean, here out of all maps, it's probably one of the only maps where you can semi-pick it and maybe get away with it if the enemy team doesn't rush you, but still, it's not great. Pink Pig is going to be in that one though, and Pink Pig, well, if there's any man on the Meltdown side that can work some magic and push the reactor further away from destruction, will be Pink Pig.
Yeah, well, Meltdown very, very quickly onto the flag here. Horsemen are going to have to react, and only 40 seconds to do it. They will need to rotate their tanks up in towards this one flag, but Meltdown really started to put a bit of pressure on the Horsemen guys here. So let's jump into their TeamSpeak and see how they're reacting to that reset.
아 이제 안 맞아. 이제 안 맞아.
이제 안 맞아? 확실해?
나 스팟.
크럼박은만 내가 스팟 계속 띄워줄게.
이빨 들어왔다. 이빨 들어왔다.
확인. 확인.
뺐어.
너 빼봐. 빼고 이번에 이쪽 먹어봐.
야 카스파 스팟만 집어줘. 스팟만 집자.
빠지고 저거 130 있는 거 천천히 먹어줘.
스팟 지워봐 카스파. 그거 붙지 말고.
그런 방에 내가 쏠 수 있거든.
나 스팟.
확인.
이거 바자 숲으로 도는 거 같아.
확인.
바자 숲.
하면
야 130, 130.
확인.
카스파,
이거 다 빼.
130이랑 같이
어,
왔어.
야 우리 둘 다 간다 상황아.
뺄수 있냐? 확인.
아야.
아야 너 니들 홀대 거잖아. 이거
어, 안
이거
가네.
우리
야
안
내민다
가네.
크란박에 내민다
나 스팟 됐어.
난
이거 우리 스파인팅 하자. 니들 홀드만 쳐봐.
바자씨랑 130까지 있는데.
오빠 뭐
다시 있었어?
바자씨랑 같이 왔겠지.
나서 이거야
내가 A 라인 씹어줄게.
아니 우르르 덮칠까 그냥? 이거 답기 그밖에 없는 것 같은데?
지금.
이거
그럴까?
바자
小
태가지고
林是不是走太深了？你走
그런
到
방에
那
좀
里，
덮칠래?
바자들 이거 겉으로 들어가서 이렇게 덮쳐.
Well, not a lot going on, to be honest, actually, there. Meltdown, they got reset
No.
pretty easily, and they've fallen back off the cap with the exception of Blast, who's still sitting there just in the single bat AP, but there's not much he can do here, really. I think it comes down to the rest of the Meltdown players to make something happen. Spencer doing a pretty good job of spotting in the Magic Forest, but if he gets overrun, that could be difficult for Meltdown. But I gotta say, I like this setup at the moment for Horsemen. It's not looking that great for Meltdown.
I'm going to agree with you there, Jordan. And Spencer, we've got to give some credit to him. He did a really good job of scouting out that Magic Forest. And I actually think he spotted, might have been maybe Pathfinder or Vice Tone, one of the guys in the bat chats, and kind of spooked him out a little bit and forced him to move. So that was a good little job scouting there by Spencer. And right now, yeah, look, the Horsemen, they're just really well dug in. They've got a good lineup to get hold down, and that's exactly what they've done. Got those resets when they needed them, and Meltdown now, I think they're just going to have to go for a bit more of a brute force approach into convincing the Horsemen to give up that flag.
Yeah, but the brute force is, well, okay, that's not great. Bang just ramming his teammate there, but the brute force is not going to work. They have a massive deficit in HP, so as soon as they try and take the fight, unless Horseman just misses a lot of shots or something goes awry for them, then it should, in theory, be a Horseman win. A 1-for-1 trade, though. Pathfinder, a low HP player going down for Meltdown. They trade out a full HP player on Horseman. There goes Blast, though, and Pang gets dropped too, so Horseman now starting to pull ahead in this fight. Cry, what can he do against the T110E5? Probably not all that much. He's almost dead. I think he's out of there. Oh, Gorilla's on the reload. Cry, he's still alive somehow. Vicetone, obviously no shells left in his clip. Cry, the shot from Spencer missing. He's not going to be able to get one onto Vicetone there either, but overall a very, very good trade for Horseman.
Yeah, excellent trade there for the Horsemen, and I think, like you said, Meltdown trying that brute force approach without having the HP to back it up. Just did not work. And at the end of the day, you can take down a Kranwagen first, but that's what the Kranwagen wants, because it's not a massive damage threat. It's just there to take some damage, to be that focus fire, so that all of those high damages, the bat chats can stay up and keep on pumping it out.
Well, Pink Pig, does he have enough in the clip here to deal with Hawks? Yes, he does. Now he's out though, and Hokyao should be able to pretty much easily clean him up. Gorilla's going to have, going to be able to help his teammate out there. But really, that initial trade that worked out for Horsemen is pretty much all that they needed. As soon as Meltdown started to push in, they were already at a disadvantage. Horsemen just needed to trade equally, and they won.
Yep, simple as that. And Vicestone there just kind of YOLOing it into the Horsemen. Good little way to end the round, and there we go. We're starting to see a bit of the Horsemen come back, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't want to say it too early, but 2 in a row's good.
Yeah, I'll say it early because I predicted them to win.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for the Horsemen comeback in some ways.
Well, definitely.
Of course, we are unbiased casters here in the WGL.
I'm hoping to see Horsemen get one more and then lose. Then I'll be right.
Yeah.
It's possible. I think the defensive side of Muravanka is going to favour the Meltdown guys a little bit more. I think it's a little easier to play than the attack. You kind of just sit yourself in one position and react accordingly.
Well, in saying that, the Horsemen, up until now,
yeah,
they've only had a 20% win rate on the side that they just won, and a 60% win rate on the side that they're just about to play the attack. So,
yeah, it's a good start.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Horsemen take this one out on the attack. I mean, I think the Horsemen here on the Muravanka attack, they really do use that Magic Forest quite well. I wouldn't be surprised to see them put up a couple of bat chats in there, maybe. Or maybe even a light scout in there to ward off any defender bat chats that try and get there. Probably going to be a fast push on towards the 2 flag. But look, that one worked really well there for the Horsemen because they did get that early damage out. They did get those early resets, and they were just in perfect positions to defend up against that first push.
Yep, really, for me, it was just that initial push that, well, not even a push, that, yeah, I guess it was a push. They got on the flag, but the resets and the damage came across, and that's what lost it here for Meltdown. I mean, they traded okay, but it wasn't nearly good enough focus fire from Meltdown. They weren't able to get all the shots across, and as soon as Horsemen started to pull ahead, it was basically game over for Meltdown. There was no coming back from that. Vicestone, last-ditch effort, trying to get as much damage across as he can, but they're never going to win that battle. Hokyao, a very good performance in his bat chat for Horsemen. Gorilla in the T125 as well, doing a very, very good amount of work.
Yep, Gorilla in that one with 15 shots fired, 2.4 thousand damage dealt. And yeah, again, it is really good to see Hokyao up the top there. Vicestone, Valiant and Pink Pig, just the usual suspects up the top there for Meltdown, not quite able to carry it through. And again, Pink Pig in that T57 heavy. He fired 8 shots. He's hit about 5 of them. I mean, do you expect to hit more than that?
Probably.
I reckon you do.
I think you do.
Go through more. Miss 3. Miss 1, miss 1. Yeah, well, maybe 6. I mean, look, picking very fine things here, but Blast and Pang in those bad chat APs. 700 and 300 damage, and Pathfinder with 0 damage just got blown up.
Yeah, he was the one that went in first for Meltdown. He was the one that was already lit down to half HP before the fight even started. So that was not the best of situations really for Meltdown. They weren't able to come back from it.
Not great there for the Meltdown guys. We do have another half here on Muravanka. And I wonder whether we will be seeing Meltdown on the defensive half up next, going with something like the Kranwagen.
I suspect it. You know, it pretty much always is all picked by the defensive teams. That or a T125.
Yeah,
I think would be the two
like
options. Or both. And even an STB could be potential.
I like the STB. We did see it almost used nicely from TCZ.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than 4k damage from Joke in the STB one, but still wasn't enough to pick up the win there for his team. Still, I don't mind it. I probably prefer the T125 and the Kranwagen setup as opposed to, say, a Kranwagen and an STB, just because I think, you know, the ability to bounce a few shells is probably a little bit stronger maybe than the extra DPM that the STB brings. You know, the STB doesn't have an awful turret, but when all the players are firing gold rounds, it's going to struggle to bounce a lot of shells.
Exactly. It needs to be angled perfectly. Yeah. So, yeah. Next up, though, what are you calling? Are you calling?
I'm thinking it's a 1-1 here on Muravanka.
Okay.
Yep.
So Meltdown to win.
Yep.
I'm going to go 2-0. But let's find out what the tanks are. We have got Object 432 here for the Horsemen, and well, we were saying, you know, will Meltdown pick the crown bargain? You said yes, but they've gone against you, Jordan. They haven't actually got really any true hold down tanks. The 113 not bad, but you know, not the best.
It is an interesting setup for Meltdown. I think they might struggle to get some resets.
Not wrong. I actually think, yeah, they will struggle quite a bit here in the defense. Like, have they picked this previously on Muravenka?
Well, we've only seen them play Muravenka defense once, and I honestly can't remember when it was, so hard to say. Don't know.
Interesting. Interesting. Anyways. Yeah, they're not the tanks that I think of when I think of Muravenka defense.
No, certainly not. And Pang Pang in the RU-251 as opposed to the 1390. Some very strange tank picks here by Meltdown. Maybe they aren't particularly comfortable with Muravenka, though they were very good at it last season. That's Valiant's trying to pretend he's an artillery? I don't know.
Unless he just fired to see if any of them were spotted him.
Yeah, potentially that could have been the reason.
Or maybe he just misclicked. Sometimes these WGL pros have off days.
Yeah.
But look at this, Valiant versus Archon. Valiant's not going to be able to get anything through that Crown Bargain's frontal turret.
No. Crown Bargain reloading here as well, so could be free time for Meltdown to peak, but they don't know really that Archon is reloading. I
wonder if Archon's popping in a bit of HE to just poke down Valiant.
Oh,
You reckon?
I don't think you take HE in an autoloader.
Well, why would he fire one shot and not try and poke a little bit more?
Maybe. We'll see what he does. If he has HE now...
he's pushing in now. Yeah, no.
Would be bad.
Yeah. So no, it looks like he was just getting ready again to push in. And again, it's going to be hard to kind of drive him off the cap here. Does have that almost impenetrable turret from the front. And right now, Meltdown don't have any presence in the Magic Forest.
Oh,
Pang Pang's
that's a nice shot from Valiant.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, Pang Pang, oh, he's in trouble here. The Sphinx is going to get a free kill. Oh, actually, Sphinx has taken a bit of damage here, so he probably has to back out. I thought there wasn't anyone that was going to get a shot into Sphinx, but, well, Pang Pang probably does die in the end to Spencer, but he's actually got a bit of information now for Meltdown. See whether or not Pink Pig and Vicezone are going to be able to capitalize on this. It was looking early on like a really good situation for Meltdown, but now, oh, it's just fallen apart. Pink Pig's going to die here, or even if he doesn't die, he's already down to 100 HP. Like, what can he do really in this situation apart from die?
Well, look, in saying that, Meltdown have actually managed to take down Sphinx, although their HP is looking about 2,000 hit points lower than the Horsemen right now. They have, well, got the tank advantage, you would say. Valiant, though, he's going to be going down pretty soon.
Archon doesn't have any clip loaded, and now the TVP Cry coming in. This could be a punishing moment for Horsemen. They've committed a little bit too far forward for this. I think Archon even is going to be under a bit of pressure here. Blast should get another shot in. Nope, doesn't look like it. Cry is going to back out as well, but Spencer has been dropped very, very low, and all of a sudden we see the health swing back to almost equal.
Yeah, there we go. Good play there. Good reaction from the Horsemen. And not too sure what Spencer's doing there, but he's not going to be able to do too much. And oh no, going in on them?
Oh, that's a great tracking shot there by Blast as well. I'm not sure if Archon has a repair kit left. I don't think he does. He's not going to be able to clip out Blast, that's for sure. And oh, Blast only rolling 368. That's unfortunate for him. Would have thought he could get another shot in there, but I think he's tracked Archon again. And
oh, another miss.
Missed it again. This is really, really not good. It looked so good for him. It looks like Cry might come in the back. He bounces a shell as well. In the end, he does take down Archon, but Archon certainly survived there for much, much longer than I anticipated. Still now, Cry pushing forward here onto Nundesu. Just going to try and use these two shells. He's not going to be able to take him down at all. Oh, he's pushed too far forward. Hokyao, he's going to punish him.
Yeah, it's all gone wrong.
It's back to a 4v3. Meltdown still with the tank advantage, but that could slip away very, very quickly. We'll have to see what Hokyao can do in that bad chat. He is the key player here for Horsemen. With that HP, what can he play with, and how can he utilize that resource?
Yeah, with the HP, but he has only got that one shell left in the clip. Blast getting a great shot
Not
there.
sure why Blast is pushing forward there, to be honest. He's given himself up. He's taken a couple of shots. Actually takes down Hawks. That's a bit lucky for him. I would have thought Hawks would have backed out there, but Blast really soaking up the damage here. I think he's trying to, you know,
doing a great job.
Just distract these guys so that the Batchats can come in behind, and it's worked out. Pink Pig, he doesn't want to ram
Oh,
here. No! He should have stopped. He really should have stopped. Hokyao picking up what was basically a free kill there, and it's going to allow Hockey probably to reload here just in time. I'm not sure if Vicestone's going to have the damage to take him down. No, he's on the reload. Pathfinder now, though, the one to watch for Meltdown, 700 HP. It's going to take 2 shells at least for Hockey to take him down. Hockey's also going to take 2 shells to die, so Vicestone and Pathfinder, you know, this is by no means a sure thing, but it's still leaning in their favor. You know, Hockey will need 3 shells. Meltdown only need 2 shells combined, and they have the tank advantage. They should be able to win this.
They should, but look, Hokyao, this is his moment. You know, he's come into WGL, he's come in as a new recruit on the Horsemen's lineup, never played WGL before. You know, suddenly you find yourself in this sort of a 2v1 against probably one of the best Batchat players in the entire region.
Certainly one of the players that plays the most Batchat, that's for sure.
Vicestone, of course.
But Hockey has no idea where Meltdown is. I have no idea where Meltdown is. So I think Meltdown's probably just backed out here. Quite content to wait for him.
Probably. I mean, look, I like how aggressively Hockey's playing. He does have to wait it out. If the Meltdown guys are together, then yeah. Like,
well, of course they're together. Surely they don't split up. It would be silly for them to split up. Or at the very least, Vicestone is in a position here to get shots. You know, Vicestone could be back down there on the K line in that forest, and Pathfinder here just trying to bait things out a little bit because Pathfinder is the one that can take a couple of extra shots. Vicestone can't afford to take a shot.
Yeah, this is so tense right here. Hokyao, he needs to get the first shot off. He really does. If he can get the first shot off, then it's doable for him. It's just doable. I'm not sure if Pathfinder and Vicestone. Oh, does he peek over here? Oh, it's so intense. Oh, he's spotted.
He hasn't spotted out any of those Meltdown players either. So someone's sitting in the bush.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's. I mean, you can look at it as a little bit of potentially good. Oh no, this isn't going to work.
Oh, there's Pathfinder, and there's Vicestone.
Imagine if he blind-fired Vicestone. Imagine that.
Well, he could. He only needs 3 shots, so he could essentially afford 2 blind fires.
I don't think we're going to be seeing it though, so. Oh, there he is. Oh, Pathfinder wants the... Oh, he did see that shot though.
But Vicestone can come in here. If he knows Hockey's not looking, which he does, he can just come flying over that ridge, potentially gets 1 free shot in. It would be risky. Obviously, he'd probably go down, trading 1 shot for 1 shot, but then it would leave Hockey as a 1 shot. But in reality, you know, that would be a silly situation. I don't even know why I'm talking about that, because Meltdown is on the defense. They don't need to do anything.
Yep.
All they need to do is waste Hockey's time.
Oh, Pathfinder playing with fire there. Seriously. You've got to have nerves of steel to try something like that this late in the game. But they do. So, Hockey out there in that bat chat. Oh, look, spotted out again. Vicestone not really going to be able to get a shot, but he's going to try to look.
The bat chat doesn't have the greatest of gun depression, so he does need to peek quite far forward here, but Hockey could potentially move into his sight line. Vicestone should get a free shot, but he's decided to go back quite safely. And again, Hockey on the move, trying to find someone.
Spotted out again.
Yeah, he can't really go anywhere without being spotted.
Oh! He spotted out Vicestone finally now, though, so that's good, mate. Maybe does he go around? Oh,
he's gone aggressive. Vicestone's done something very, very silly here.
Oh no, he needs to dip it down a little bit. Oh, he needed the gun depression.
Yeah, that was...
It could have worked. He could have popped over and got the shot. But he didn't have the gun depression. He just needed to inch just a millimeter further over.
Yeah.
To get it.
Well, that was strange. I'm surprised Vicestone actually pushed out like that. Like, he could have just fallen back and played safe, but decides to cross for some reason. It works out in the end there for Meltdown. I mean, it was always going to be a difficult situation for Hockey to win, but, you know, he didn't even get really a shot off. So Meltdown pull off a pretty decent win there on the second half of Muravanka. Puts them at now 4 rounds on the board. Really facing a difficult time now for Horsemen to come back into this one.
Yeah, they needed that win, I think, to come back into this one. And without it, I mean, Meltdown, like, we've got our next map as, what? Himmels.
Yep.
I think that should be.
Now, admittedly, it's a decent map for Horsemen, though I said that yesterday and they got 2-0'd by B Gaming. So take that with a grain of salt.
Not a bad map for Horsemen, you're right. And it is a bit of a bad map there for Meltdown, honestly. They have a 29% win rate on the Himmelsdorf attack, below 50 on the defense. So, again, we could be seeing a bit of a Horseman comeback here.
Potentially. It's hard to say, though, because Muravanka for me was a map which was 50-50. Himmelsdorf is probably, I'm leaning on 50-50, something like that as well. And Meltdown have just been able to pull through for the moment. I mean, that start that they got 3-0 to start things off, you know, if this had started off as a 2-2 or something like that, then Horsemen would be well in this. But really, I still think Meltdown just getting that early start has helped them so much, because they have been struggling in these later rounds, but the early start has really just given them enough that they've been able to pull through for the moment.
Yep. Not wrong. So, I think here, Pink Pig just, look at that. And we can see this from Vicestone's perspective. He saw Hockler come up over the top. He got one shot off, missed that one. Oh, Hockler just missed him. Could have gone either way, but it went in the way of Meltdown. And, well, Blast Pathfinder up the top there. Good to see Pathfinder having a good game in his bat chat there for the Meltdown crew. We've got None Alliant in 6th place.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's Nandesu or Valiant. I think it's Valiant because Nandesu's
it's
up there in
Valiant.
5th.
It's a great
I'm not
name.
sure how that's happened.
Good Pink Pig there in the bat chat. 1689 damage dealt, 6 shots fired. Archon in his Kranwagen as well, dealing 2.4k damage, which is pretty nice. Again, it's always interesting to see who's been dealing the damage in these ones. And getting the kills, of course. Blast with the equal top kills of 2 with Pathfinder and Hocklau. Vicestone got 2 kills and stayed alive at the end. That was all that he needed to do. And yeah, Gorilla in that Object 432. Really, like, it would have been nice to see him do a lot more, but he just got rushed down at the right time by Meltdown. And they kind of shut that Tier 9 medium tank down.
Well, all eyes now turn towards Himmelsdorf. It's not a map that Meltdown probably would like to be on here. You know, facing... You know, it could potentially go to a tiebreaker here if Horsemen play this one pretty well. It's not a great map for Meltdown. You know, they wouldn't want this to be the last map in the pool. They prefer something else. But it is Himmelsdorf, 36% win rate so far for Meltdown on that. 67, actually no, just 60% for Himmelsdorf for Horsemen. So it's a bit better for Horsemen. But, you know, it doesn't seem like it's hugely comfortable for Horsemen because of the fact that yesterday they had troubles against B Gaming, a team who I would rate below Meltdown. And a team that also isn't that great at Himmelsdorf. So I think Meltdown's in with a chance of at least pulling off one round here, which would be enough.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be surprised to see Meltdown pull off around here in Himmelsdorf. I think, I'm trying to think though of times that Meltdown has actually won Himmelsdorf, and maybe they've won it a few times against some of the lower tier teams. You know, maybe against Dark Horse, maybe against B Gaming, maybe against the Coalition Zoo. But I really don't recall any time that Meltdown has actually looked strong on Himmelsdorf. So in that regard, whereas if we switch it over to the Horsemen side, the Horsemen, you know, they're pretty comfortable. They can maybe pick a TD on Himmelsdorf, maybe pick something a little bit super heavy. Good with the ISs, I feel. So for the Horsemen side, wouldn't be surprised to see it go to it. But realistically, it's probably going to be a 1.
Horsemen's really going to have to dig deep here. This is their chance to come back and restore a little bit of faith, at least in my mind. If they can get this to a 2-0 and then pull off the win in the tiebreaker, which was Ghost Town, then, you know, there's a... It's going to be a better situation, obviously, for them than losing this one out to Meltdown. But at the moment, I'm still feeling like Meltdown's the stronger team of the two, and I think they have the better chance of really making it towards the top 4 at this point in the APAC season. And there we go, the setups for both teams. 113s, 50Bs, FE2 15Bs, across both sides even. And it's fairly similar. Grill 15 for Horsemen, none for Meltdown, though.
Yeah, I like the Horsemen grill. Like we said, you know, they're a team that does feel comfortable picking that tank destroyer on Himmelsdorf here. Meltdown going with some very standard stuff. The Kranwagen, I mean, yeah, it can-ish sort of work on the defense, but I'm more of a kind of tier 9, like an Emil guy myself on the defense here in Himmelsdorf, because it can fulfill the exact same role if you're just going to pop it in A5 to defend out the 2
like
flag.
an Emil and a T10 instead of the Kranwagen and the IS3. I think that's probably a reasonable trade.
Yeah,
the IS3 is not an awful tank at all.
Emil
It's actually a very good tank.
There you go.
But
Love to see a few more Conquerors on Himmels.
yeah, I don't think it's likely. But the IS3, it will struggle to bounce a lot of the shells here from the tier 10 tanks. Like, it's a very good tank tier for tier, but when you put it up against tier 10 tanks, it does struggle a little bit. Oh, it's a good shot to start off, though, by Blast. Sphinx taking a 450 damage shell. Can he get another one here? Nope. Hawks gets the cross before the reload is done. But have a look at this. I mean, the trade's working so well for Meltdown right now. They've set themselves up with good firing positions, and Horsemen have walked right into it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Horsemen were thinking there, just giving away free damage to Meltdown, but they will be pushing in a little bit more forward now on towards Blast. They've got 4 tanks at Blast. Look, you'd think and you'd hope for the Horseman's sake that he should be going down quite soon.
Well, someone needs to help him because he is going to go down here. There's 250Bs, an FV215B, and a 113. There's no way Blast survives this. It's all going to come down to this rotate from Meltdown. You can see them pushing down that 7 line. They're coming around now behind the Horseman tanks, and I think this is actually going to work out pretty well for Meltdown because Horsemen are all on the reload. They should be able to trade this out.
Oh yeah, that FV215B and the 113 should be able to contribute a little bit. Vicestone's at the back there, he's coming in and he's wreaking havoc on the Horsemen.
He himself is taking a lot of damage though, down to 660 HP. Only can survive a couple more shells. He's on the reload. Still no kill yet for Meltdown, and a lot of their 50Bs on the reload. This is dangerous now. Horsemen can respond in kind, just how I said Meltdown was going to be able to trade out. It's now Horsemen's turn, and at the moment, the swing, the play, it's favouring Horsemen because they got the first shots off.
Yep, they got the first shots, and just like that, Blast is down, Pink Pig's down, Cry's down, Pang Pang's down. The Horsemen, they're all so low, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter.
Well,
the fact is they've got 7 guns on the field.
What can Vicetone do here? The answer is not a lot because he's going to be caught up with Sphinx. Probably is going to be able to take him down, but he takes a shot for it, a crucial shot there as well, and I just don't think there's going to be enough here left for Meltdown. If they maybe had another tank on the field, or if Vicetone had a bit of HP to play with, then you could have made a reasonable argument for maybe he was going to be able to pull something off here, but in reality, this is all over. Red Rover Horseman pulling off a very quick victory there on Himmelsdorf.
There you go. So that was pretty insane. I thought after that first little kind of scrubbing that the Horsemen got when they were coming right up the banana, then things might go a little bit differently. But yeah,
so did I.
Like Meltdown not prioritizing targets. That was just Meltdown getting into a fight and either not talking or talking and not calling out who to shoot.
It was a good read, though, from Horsemen. They recognized that the 113 was isolated. They took the kill, and then somehow they managed not to actually take really all that much damage. They took damage in response, but not important damage. You know, none of the tanks went down. That's the important thing, and Horsemen had those 50B reloads faster than Meltdown did, so they got the second trade working in their favor, and really, it was, I think, poorly played by Meltdown there. They probably should have won that one, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, they shouldn't have won that in my eyes because they didn't do the right things to win it.
No, but they should have done the right things.
They had the possibility. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they had the opportunities to win that one. Absolutely. Look, a little bit disappointing there for Meltdown because that could have been.
That could have been the game.
Much easier.
Would have been 5-2. Yeah. Now their best hope is a 5-3, but this is like, again, another situation where Horsemen could pull it through to the tiebreaker.
Yeah, so look, Horsemen come around here, and you know they're shooting. Meltdown is shooting onto Hawk Lau. They pop a shot into Spencer. Another shot into Hawk Lau. A shot into Nundesu. Like you literally couldn't spread the damage out further apart if you tried. If you're Meltdown.
Yeah. Pretty much. There's 3 tanks there that are definitely a one-shot. 2 tanks that are potentially a one-shot. So 5 tanks that were really low for Horsemen, but yeah, worked out in the end.
It did indeedy. As Hokiao up the top there. Hokiao's actually been kind of looking pretty good in this one, I reckon, in this series.
Yep.
Getting a few top damages. Hawks there as well. 2.0k. Nandesu in the grill doing a bit of work with 4 shots fired, hitting all of them. Yeah. Pang Cry and Vicetone. Again, Vicetone, look, he did get that sort of flurry of shots earlier on where he did drop down to 600 HP after getting them off, but really, they didn't do anything because they didn't take any tanks down. He should have just focused one member down.
Absolutely. Archon not doing a huge amount there for Horsemen, but I mean, he got a clip off, so not too bad. Valiant, IS3 with a decent amount of damage, but Pink Pig, you know, he's down the bottom there. Yeah, just not enough damage done to the right targets for Meltdown, I think. Like, they got damage out, but just not on the right peoples. So we'll see how they go on the second half here. But I'm a little bit worried here for Meltdown because they've only got a 25% win or 29% win rate on Himmelsdorf attack. They've played it 7 times, which is a big sample size, and so far have not been particularly impressive on it. So they should have probably won that one on the defense there if they were to win any of these rounds on Himmelsdorf.
Well, exactly. So yeah, that's the thing. Meltdown, like I said, I've never actually seen Meltdown against any proper team in WGL APAC look good on Himmelsdorf. Never. Think of it. What have they ever done on Himmelsdorf that's been impressive? Nothing.
I can't even remember most of the times that they have played Himmelsdorf.
Exactly, because they've been so forgettable. Yeah. I'll tell you that right now.
Thanks, Alex.
No, you're welcome, Jordan.
Okay. Well, we'll see how they go here. It's kind of their last chance, really, to get the full points out. Well, it is definitely their last chance to get the full points out of this one. I think they'll be very disappointed if they go through to a tiebreaker after being 3-0 up. Especially against Horsemen, who they 5-1 last week.
Yeah, actually, that was a 5-1. Wow, that was pretty ballsy calling it a 5-4. That was a big prediction.
Yeah, I think it was a big prediction from both you and Max to predict a Horseman victory, to be honest.
They can still do it.
They can.
Come on, boys.
2 in a row. That's all they need. Meltdown only need 1. But I've got to say, I feel like this round in particular definitely favours Horsemen. Then the one on Ghost Town, if we do get there for the tiebreaker, that comes down to who has the fastest attack win side, which I've got to say, I think was just that one there from Horsemen on Himmelsdorf. So they should, in theory, probably be able to choose Ghost Town's attack or defense, whether or not they want, you know, which side they want. We don't know just yet. If we get there, we'll see. Have a look at the tank lineups. It's a 4005 for Meltdown, but not a hugely heavy lineup for either team.
Well, that's actually good for Meltdown in that case, because they have got that FE4005. Apart from that, Meltdown with a bit of a mixed bag. 113 IS7, a Bat Chat. That's obviously going to be Vicetone. Again, I don't think the Bat Chat's too useful on Himmelsdorf, but Horsemen have one as well. Horsemen not going for anything particularly heavy here. So that FE4005 should actually be able to get some good shots, and it is Cry in that one. I think out of all of the Meltdown members, I do trust Cry the most to drive that 4005 correctly.
Well, let's see whether or not he is going to be able to do that. Meltdown going for a hill push by the looks of things, so they should get up there pretty safely. Doesn't seem like anyone from Horsemen is in any kind of position really to deny that, but Hokyao here in the IS4 could prove to be a pivotal player really for Meltdown if Pang, for example, in that 1390 decides to go down that A-line and set himself in the cutout.
Yeah, it's looking like Pang, they're just spotting stuff out at the moment. And again here, Horsemen really surprised as to why they don't have anyone defending out this A and B line when...
I think it's fine because they've got Hokyao in that position. There's not much of a threat of a cap really on that 2 flag. Unless, for example, Pang were to go down into the B7 area, but he spots out Hokyao, so I think that's the game up. Oh, Hokyao's getting absolutely wrecked.
Where's he getting lit from?
He's getting lit from Pang. I'm not sure where he's getting shot from.
Must have been behind.
Was it the 4005 up on the hill?
No.
Maybe?
No.
It had to have been.
Oh, yeah, wow. And look, he's going to shoot. He's going to shoot again. He's going to splash him. Watch
You sound
this.
like a very excited, excited person, Alex. But he did shot and he didn't connect.
Did a splash.
Yeah.
But I've never seen that. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. Well, no, but
yeah,
like I have seen that like in pubs and that kind of thing, but I've not seen it in WGL. Like, I've
Oh.
seen the angle before.
I haven't seen that angle before. That makes like Hockyar's spot like almost useless. Look.
Only if he peeks. I think he's going to be fine if he stays back there. I would like to see Pang Pang in the 1390 actually pressure that 2 flag now and see if Hockyar can, or if the 4005 of Cry can take down Hockyar or punish him for going for a peek when they need the reset. But it's a good early start for Meltdown, nonetheless.
Yep. Definitely a good start. And right now, Horsemen, that damage Hockyar, I think he's going to be happy that none of his crew members were too severely impacted by that shot from Cry. But yeah, I think Meltdown off to a good start. And maybe a little bit surprised, I guess, that Meltdown didn't try and push that flag a little bit more, because I feel as though they could have got that AMX 1390 in, and they could have kept on punishing Hockyar whenever he peeked out with that FE4005.
Oh well, opted to rotate back down and potentially going to go in towards the 1 flag here. Hawks, he hasn't spotted them out, and he himself hasn't been spotted, but his spider sense is tinkling at the moment. Low. I thought he was going to back out a little bit more there, but he's still in position here. If he gets caught out, this could be the game. Horseman could lose if he dies here.
Yep. Hawks.
And he's really in a tough
Oh,
position. I don't think he
yeah,
survives
this is bad. But, oh, well, a little bit of help coming in.
Oh, what?
What? What?
Okay, well, fair enough. That's not worked out too nicely for Meltdown. Blast in a not so great position here. He is
Another
hull down,
one!
though.
Hawks did it again!
I don't know how the Hawks has gotten out of here without taking any damage.
Oh my god!
There we
There
go.
we
Finally
go.
takes some damage.
How has that happened there for Hawks? That is so lucky.
Wow, that is lucky. Now Meltdown have been spotted out. Valiant, oh, that's a big shot from Gorilla into the IS-7. And all of a sudden the trade's starting to work in the favor of Meltdown, and Valiant needs to be so careful here because he's on his own.
See you, Valiant. That's another shot. It's going to go in.
Gonna pen though? Nope, not this
Well,
time.
that didn't hit, did it? Hit the ground in front
Yeah, I
of him.
think it did. But if Horseman recognize that he's on his own, Hockyar can just come around the side and clean him up pretty easily. Oh, looks like Vicetone's rotating up, so he's going to be able to back up Valiant if Hockyar pushes in there. I think that's a good move from Meltdown. A little bit poor from them not to punish Hawks, but they have managed to get out of there okay. I thought they were in a poor position. Now, you know, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable. I do prefer that 2 flag push.
Vicetone's not helping Valiant here. He's just sitting back while Hockyar shoots him.
I think he's really waiting for Hockyar to commit to this so that he can get the kill.
Well, I don't know. If I was Hockyar, I would want Vicetone to help a little bit more.
I'm not sure what's happened there, to be honest.
Vicetone's like, nah, I don't want any part of that.
He really probably should have got at least a couple of shots into the IS-4 there. Pink Pig now taking some damage in his 50B blast, still hanging around towards the southern part of the map. Need to see Vicetone and Pang Pang here get something done. Can Vicetone kill the 1390? I mean, it's really not going to be the biggest of deals if he does. He only gets 1 shot in anyway. And now Pathfinder's in a really forward position on his own in a 50B. I don't like that. He is going to get taken down. I don't think he survives this.
Well, if they push.
Yeah, if they push, obviously.
But then, yeah, they should push because they've spotted out Blast, they've spotted out Cry. So they should be able to push, and yeah, they do. They take him out.
What is Meltdown doing?
Like, this is why Meltdown have that 29% win rate, I think.
This is awful. This is really all over the place. They have not played this well at all, and they have basically gifted Horsemen a free win here on Himstorf.
Yeah.
Like,
Cry actually might try and get a shot out.
I mean, Vicetone's not even doing anything now, so I don't know, maybe he's DC'd, or he's just given up.
Yeah, Vicetone does that. But, oh, where's Cry? Did Cry get another shot out? Hey, Cry. Want to see the FE4005 big shots. But look, right there, Vicetone. Yeah, I think he has just said, well, yeah, nah. And there's a shot from Cry onto Hockyar, and it doesn't pen. So look, I had high hopes there for Cry's FE4005, but you know, when it's shooting into an FE4005, when it's shooting into an IS-4 and not going through properly, then
Wow. That was so horribly bad for Meltdown. I cannot even begin to express with words how bad that was. Because they got off to a great start. And then they just drove over towards the 1 flag, didn't take down Hawks, didn't even put any damage into him. And then they rotated back up. The IS-7 goes down for free. They don't get any trades, and then Pathfinder in his 50B drives in on his own. Like, I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it because they had a good position to go in on once they came down the hill. You know, that they had the opportunities to get free damage onto the IS-4 every time it tried to poke for the AMX 1390. And they were just like, you know what, guys? We could push here into the 2 flag. We could maybe get some free damage off on towards the IS-4. You know, we could put a lot of cap pressure here onto the Horsemen, but that would be too easy, wouldn't it?
Oh, for sure.
That would be way too easy.
I honestly
so you know
have
what?
no idea what they were thinking.
So you know what? I've got a better idea, guys. Let's just rotate half our tanks away to the rail tracks, not actually push the 1 flag, re-rotate half of our tanks back towards the 2 flag into much worse positions than they would have been if they just pushed down the hill and lose the game.
Yeah, sounds good. That's, well, look, I mean, Meltdown, they looked good yesterday. Now they're looking really bad today. Or they started off looking good, and now they're looking really, really bad.
This is funny, though. I'll give Meltdown this. This shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, like...
And another one comes in after this as well.
That was a bit unlucky.
Like, that was really lucky. There was another 3 shots and another one.
Well, that's why they didn't push the 1 flag, because they were all on reload. But this from Pathfinder was like the biggest WTF moment I have ever seen.
Mate, he was the path blazer there.
He was the path die. Like, there was nothing you could do except die there. I really don't know what he was doing. It was never going to work out. And it clearly didn't work out for Meltdown. They got absolutely wrecked. Did they even kill a single tank? No?
No.
Jesus.
How do you not kill a tank on Himmelsdorf?
Your guess is as good as
Oh,
mine.
that's why they have the 29% win rate, I guess. I'm actually surprised that it's 29% after watching them there.
Well, it's not 29% anymore, I tell you that.
It's lower than that.
It's 25% because they've won 2 out of 8 now.
Yep.
But, oh dear.
Well, 20%.
Oh, 20%? Yeah,
2
my
out of
math's not
8.
great.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, that's 25, isn't it? 2 out of 8? 25.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was 2 out of 10 because I added the 2 and the 8. Don't
Can you
listen
not
to me.
confuse me,
I'm
please?
bad at math, sorry. But yeah, Cry, FE4005, 2.3k damage. I mean, look, he got those nice shots earlier on, but still should have had more of an impact later on the battle. 0 damage for Valiant. Valiant, please.
Yeah. I mean,
And that was half. I will actually blame that a little bit on Mr. Vicetone. Because Vice is like, I bet you could have heard him and Com's like, okay, Valiant, just sit there, bait him out, I'll come help you out. Vicetone's like peeks around, he's like, oh, that's an AMX 50B there. I don't feel like scratching the old paint job.
No, it wasn't even a 50B. I think it was an IS-4 and a 1390.
And a 1390, that's
like,
right, yeah.
Oh,
it was
a 2-8 tank,
Whoa.
boys. Watch out.
Oh, no thanks, boys.
I could 3-shot that tank, but I don't want to take 200 damage.
Yeah, look, repair costs are pretty high these days, so, I'd rather not.
He was playing the French tank, so can we blame him? Anyway, I have news. It is the Horsemen did get the choice of side because of that very fast win on Himmelsdorf. And they picked attack, which is the side that they won on in this matchup on Ghost Town. Admittedly, remember, it was very close there on Ghost Town, so I'm not sure this is necessarily a sure thing, but that is a good start to the tiebreaker for Horsemen.
I'm a happy man. My predictions coming close. I was feeling very bad when it was 3-0 here to the Meltdown. I was like, damn it. Get overtaken now by Jordan on the predictions, but even further. Even further.
I still don't think you can catch up even if you get this one right, sadly.
Wow. That's rude.
Yeah, I'm still ahead of you.
Well, I'm never betting on TCC ever again. They're dead to me.
That was a stupid
They're
prediction.
dead to me. It wasn't that stupid.
It was so stupid. They got 5-0'd.
It's because they didn't listen to me.
Oh, yeah.
But I think here, Horsemen, they don't need to listen to me to potentially pull off the win. I think, Jordan, they could get the win.
They could.
Anyways, guys, remember, stick around for this next one, not only because we are going to find out who wins here, but because we will be having to find out who has been elected the winner of our APAC Pro Tank and APAC eSports Fan Quests for today. Of course, all quest winners on the stream will be contacted to dish out their prizes quite soon after the stream, maybe early on this week, to give you your wonderful codes for winning.
Where's my code, Alex?
You don't get a code. You
Why
don't.
not?
You didn't win. You're not an APAC esports fan. You're
I am an
watch-
APAC esports fan. I'm
you're n-
probably the biggest APAC esports
You're not
fan.
watching on live.wgleague.net. You're just watching on Twitch.
I could be watching on live.wgleague.net.
you're not,
My
so-
laptop's just over there. You don't know what's on the screen.
I think it does actually work on mobiles as well. Very good site,
Does it?
guys. Because and obviously you can take out the live part and just go onto WGLeague.net, and there's everything. There's standings, there's match schedules, there's videos. What isn't there?
Everyone in the production's laughing at me. I'm not sure why. I saw that though. That was very nice. I could still hear them laughing. Just in the back, like.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
There was a little elfish face in the side.
Ah,
That's what happened.
there we go.
You miss a lot of things, Alex.
Well, look, I have to look down here. I'm trying to, connect with all of our beautiful viewers out there, our wonderful World of Tanks viewers. So,
Alright.
I'd like to look into our fans.
How about you connect with them by telling us who's going to win this one here
Horsemen,
between Horsemen
because
and
I predicted
Meltdown?
it. I'm never wrong.
That's not a very good analysis of the situation.
Yeah, I probably should do that, eh?
Yeah, probably. That's your job.
UDES. Horsemen will pick the UDES. Their defense, aren't they?
Yes. They
Yep.
are, no, wait. Their attack. They chose attack. Which was the side they won on.
Okay.
Car. No UDES. That's,
No
I
UDES.
think that's fairly certain.
I'm gonna go with standard stuff, I reckon. What? They didn't pick anything too crazy on the attack, did they?
No, not really. 50 Bs. FE2 15B, I think one
Well,
off.
Meltdown's UDES was bad on the attack, wasn't it?
Not
on
that
the
I didn't have a
defense.
UDES on the attack. No, it was alright. Did like 1500 damage.
Well, here's how Horsemen will win.
Okay.
By not pushing onto the 2 flag.
Alright.
By just
They
going for a
did push
brawl.
onto the 2 flag last time and won.
By going for a brawl in the city.
Alright, we'll find out whether or not that's going to be the case. See what tanks they pick here though.
Oh, what the? We've got a. Why have we got a FE4005 on Ghost Town from Meltdown? That's really weird in my eyes. Look, it can work against those AMX 50Bs, and if it does get a shot off on towards the AMX 50Bs, then, Meltdown are laughing. But T57 Heavy, not going to have fun going through that. FE215Bs, not going to have fun going through that. 113, not going to be easy to go through either. So, not a great amount of targets for Cry's FE4005, and, well, that's a good choice, I think.
Okay.
We're not going to be having that.
Well, let's see what goes on here for Horsemen. A couple of 215Bs, 113. So it's a fairly healthy lineup. They can bounce a few shells, and then the T57 Heavy, 50Bs, bit of damage comes out of there. I like that lineup for Horsemen. Meltdown, very, very similar, but just an extra 50B, I think, in place of a T57 Heavy and a Bat Chat as well in there instead of a 113. A UDES, of course, for the defensive boost. So pretty decent standard sort of lineups for both these teams here. I wonder if Meltdown are going to be able to pull this one off. Remember, it was so close. It was down to almost the final shot when Horsemen did pick up the round win on this one, and Valiant got set on fire in that round. I think this is going to be an interesting one, Alex.
I'm thinking so, Jordan. Let's find out where they're heading out to. Horsemen going out towards a 1 flag. I do like this already from the Horsemen pushing out here. And they're going to be putting so much pressure on towards any Meltdown defenders that try and get down there. Blast. Not sure where he's pushing out to. He's in a bit of a weird spot for the boost. You don't often see the UDES that far back.
Gorilla takes a shot to the track, but Pink Pig takes a shot to his hull and takes damage for it. Or Cry, he's pushing very far forward in the 50B here. I'm not sure what he's doing. He needs to get the reset. There's only 5 seconds. That's why he's pushed so far forward. Meltdown
1 second.
throw this away. They've done it.
That's it. Oh, no, the reset. Oh my goodness, what is happening right now? Cry's just gone down for Meltdown. The Horsemen, they've still got those tanks on the flag. 18 seconds left for that one, but they're moving off it. They want to finish Meltdown off the old-fashioned way, Jordan.
Oh my word, that was so close for Meltdown. That might have been down to the very millisecond for the round win there for Horsemen. But I tell you what, if Horsemen find a way to throw this one away, it's going to be the throw of the century,
Oh
because
my goodness.
they have found the first 2 kills of this round.
UDES is down.
And the UDES is down. 5 versus 7 here. Again, Meltdown just not getting the focus fire right. Exactly the same situation as what we saw on Himmelsdorf. Horsemen could take this one away.
Yeah, they very well could. Hawks is getting very, very low, but look at that. Sphinx should be able to, clean up Pink Pig there, and just like that, only 4 members of Meltdown left, but only 4 members of the Horsemen left as well. Meltdown are actually in the advantage right now. 2,000 HP advantage to Meltdown.
What is going on here? Valiant trying to hide away. The T-57 Heavy has a full clip. The 50Bs look fully loaded here for Horsemen as well. Meltdown, what have they got? Vice Tone's on the reload. Pang Pang's off the reload, but Pathfinder's still reloading. This one's still very, very much in a 50-50 situation, but I think Meltdown might be just pulling ahead here. Another crucial shot from Valiant. He's done such a good job wasting the time of Horsemen there. It's 3 versus 2 now. Horsemen, it's just Gorilla. He's going to go down to Pathfinder. No, Pathfinder's off the reload now.
No,
I think
that's it.
Meltdown have won.
That's it.
They got the reset in the last millisecond, and they won.
Oh,
What? My voice, it's
That
gone
was
so
zero.
high.
That was 0.
That was
Thanks.
0. That was very, very 0. Oh, blue
Like,
shirt guy. That
I-
was an insane match.
I have never seen a cap actually go for that long on 100% and then not actually register as a win. I've never seen that. Like, I seriously think that might have just been a tiny little lag spike there as well that didn't register. Like, I don't know, but
I thought they won.
they shouldn't have won. The Meltdown shouldn't have won that.
Oh, you're so salty.
I-
You're so mad. I'd be mad too, though. It's not very nice. I prepared those notes for you so that you could read them, not throw them away.
Well, we're done, aren't we?
I guess we are done.
Because, yeah.
Oh, Horseman's probably done after that one as well. I'm sure they thought they had that one in the bag.
Seriously.
And to find a way to lose that as well after getting 2 picks.
Like you literally, that is the definition of a photo finish in gaming. You know?
Yeah.
And ending a game, ending a round like that where there is probably, you count the time that it would have taken for them to win it in frames that they were off from actually securing the win on the server. Like,
So close, and yet so far. I'm gonna need a drink after this because, well, that was tough on the throat, Alex.
yeah, I could tell. That
gone-
was.
You know, but boy, oh boy,
Oh.
it was tough on me, but it must have been even tougher there on Horseman
Yeah,
because
100%.
to get so close and then not be able to pick up the win there. I mean, look, they did a pretty good job to bring it back to the tiebreaker and make it to 5-4 after being down 3-0, but in reality, to lose it like that, it's just so gut-wrenching.
Yeah, honestly, like you can't justify it in any way. Like it seriously could have just been like almost natural, universal entropy.
Who got the
that-
reset though for Meltdown? It wasn't Cry.
No,
I don't think. Did he
Was
fire a
it
shot?
was it Blast?
He fired that
2,
and
1, 0, 0. Oh,
I
it was
can't
onto
see where
Sphinx. It was onto Sphinx, so it might have been
350.
It was
It was-
either
it was 350, so it must have been the UDES, right?
yeah.
Or Bat Chat? I think
No,
it was the
it was
UDES.
either the UDES or Pink Pig. So yeah, I think it was the UDES.
Yep.
Oh man, I want to get a stopwatch out and time how long that clock was on 0 seconds for. Seriously, so devastating.
That was something.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at the damage stats here. Pathfinder and Pang Pang 50Bs doing a lot of damage there. Pang Pang usually in the tier 8 scout tank for Meltdown, but stepping up when it matters in the tier 10.
Yep, doing work in that AMX 50B. Nandesu, Hawks and Gorilla, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what damage they dealt. Like, they did okay, but it just doesn't matter. Valiant and Pink Pig up the top there as well. You know, we're used to seeing them right up there. A little bit surprising to not see maybe Cry up there as well, but still. Meltdown, they got the damage out when it mattered.
Yep. And, well, Horseman, let's see. Sphinx only 2 shots damage dealt in the 113. Archon with only a clip out. Hokyao with only a clip out. So close. I mean, that was really down to the wire. Again, Ghost Town really delivering between these two teams.
Yeah, there we go. So, look, I mean, Spencer there in the RE251 and you're getting 1 shot off. And, like, that's the annoying thing. It was so close. You know, so close. but then Meltdown just came away and took it so convincingly in the actual brawl once that had started. You know, like and
To come back from a 5 versus 7 in a brawl, like they lost the UDES and they lost the 50B. You know, that's 2 pretty important tanks on Ghost Town to lose before the brawl starts.
yeah, very important tanks. So look, in the end of the day, I mean, microseconds in it. That's all that it takes to win or lose. In this case, a WGL game. So,
Well, it was certainly a series there, really, wasn't it, between Horsemen and Meltdown. Went much closer than I expected it to. Hokyao trying to do his best for his team there. Overall 2.3k average damage, but not enough. No Archon there, no Sphinx there for Horsemen, and those are the missing names for me.
yeah. 100% Sphinx. Look, I think earlier on he actually wasn't doing too badly in those games that the Horsemen lost, but yeah, later on he was nowhere to be seen. But look, Hokyao up the top #1. I mean, you can't complain about that. He's been doing work. Nandesu there, 2k. Pathfinder Valiant. I actually thought Valiant did a little bit better than that, but 1400 damage. So not to be in the end, and actually Sphinx, there you go. He didn't do too badly, 1800. That's respectable, you know. Archon 1750, Hawk 1789. But yeah, not really any bad performances, I'd say.
No, I mean, Valiant 1400 average is not that great, being in tier 10s all night, but
I mean, he did
he
play
was
like
in
the
a tier 8,
mouse,
and then he kind of got wrecked on Himmelsdorf
yeah.
in the IS-7 as well, so he
Yeah.
had a couple of bad rounds, which probably would have dropped that down a little bit. But overall, Meltdown, I'm not so sure they're actually going to be too content with how that's gone tonight. I mean, 3-0 to end up in a 5-4.
In a tiebreaker. That's the thing, because Meltdown need every point they can get.
Exactly, they
So-
lost 7 points from last week, so that's a big loss.
100%, yeah, that's 2 wins and a tiebreaker loss, so it is a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's been an exciting day, Alex. It definitely has.
Oh,
2
yeah.
5-4s today. Let's have a look at how things went down. 5-1 in the favour of B Gaming to start things off there. You know, not surprised to see B Gaming pulling off the win there, but you know, the fashion in which they were able to defeat Dark Horse was quite convincing. And then
Yeah.
5-4 team efficiency again, pulling off
The
win
boys.
against EL. How long ago that feels now.
Yeah.
But it was only tonight, and again, the second win for team efficiency against EL. Great stuff from them. Coalition Zoo then going down to Karen Tiger, not really a huge surprise, to be honest, from that one. And then Meltdown Horsemen, what a great series between those two teams as well.
Yeah. Really good stuff there. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, Horsemen, they didn't quite win it. And, you know, we can be disappointed all we want, but I am very happy that both of those guys showed us some really good tanking. There was some really good plays there. It was high level, and that's exactly what we want to see. 9 games of high level tanking here on the stream. You know, perfect.
Exactly. Excellent stuff. Really impressed by, well, not necessarily impressed, but like happy that we saw a good series coming out there.
100%.
Between Horsemen and Meltdown. It was my hope. My hope was as well to see a good series between Team Efficiency, Team Efficiency and EL. So today has, for me, definitely delivered.
Yep. Good stuff there from Team Efficiency as well. Like, it's going to be crazy to see how they do throughout the rest of the season. And I think they're almost given in our Season 1 finals with the way that they've been playing. I just don't really see a way that they're going to drop down too far from that. So, you know.
It's going to be very interesting to see how the standings are going to shape up after this week as well, because Meltdown was below Horsemen, but now I think they're probably above Horsemen in 4th position.
Well, yeah,
EL,
because
how far ahead of Team Efficiency were they? Are they still in number 1?
I mean, Meltdown had a long way to come up to the Horsemen.
No, because Horsemen, I think, Horsemen got back above Meltdown because they got those points back.
Yeah.
So they were pretty close, I'm pretty sure. I think it was
Yeah.
like 1 or 2 points the difference. I guess we'll have to find out soon. Standings are going to be up in a second, but a lot of interesting results this week, I think is fair to say. I think the bottom 3, you know, Coalition Zoo, B Gaming, Dark Wolves are all going to be in their positions. Dark Wolves, Coalition Zoo 8, Dark Wolves 7, B Gaming 6. All right, well, let's have a look and see whether or not we're right. It is EL Gaming still up the top. Oh, they've got plenty of points in the bank there. EL, you know, Team Efficiency still have a couple of games to play. But Karen Tiger also still in 3rd, Horseman still in 4th.
Yeah, so
Meltdown's actually below B
Yeah,
Gaming.
that's what I was thinking. Meltdown.
Right. I thought they had more points than that.
Well, that's the thing. They got completely, you know, docked of those points earlier on. So with those losses awarded to them, and B Gaming winning, that's set them up there. So
Pretty much, well, certainly was an interesting week here in APAC, but that is all done and dusted for week 5. Really, really exciting and surprising week, very similar to last week. Hopefully next week is going to deliver just the same. It will, of course, be starting on Friday. I've hope to see you guys there. Until next time, good night and happy tanking.
Last reload here, but here comes Revolution. He may have picked a bad time to do so. Happiness being spotted out. He doesn't know where Revolution's coming from. Now Lambert from the other side as well. I think Happiness, he's not long for this world. He still has no idea where the threat's going to be coming through. He's going to get shot in the back. Finally,
no,
he sees
does
where it's
react
there.
fast
Oh, he
enough.
goes down. That is going to be B Gaming losing their second last member. Last player left alive is Uchi Shampao. 4 shots, but he's got
those two AMX 50Bs pushed past that 2 flag. Team efficiency were ready. They were waiting for them. Okay, that was funny. Good try, Gronowski.
But in the end, it doesn't matter there for team efficiency. That's the belt. I think that's the game over for team efficiency. I think Granovsky maybe knock him back. I don't. Oh, he'd probably have to knock him down the hill. Oh, Granovsky. Oh no! Oh no! What have you done, team efficiency? Team efficiency? It's just gone all wrong. I wonder almost if they've done this on purpose.
Can you go to E1? You didn't E1 cross.
I've done it.
Yeah. There is a dead mouse behind you. Maybe you can find out. Because he will spot. Oh no, clap.
What?
Well, that was so tense. Like, my heart was beating. I'm not even forward hitting the 50B here. I'm not sure what he's doing. He needs to get the reset. There's only 5 seconds. That's why he's pushed so far forward. Meltdown
1
might have
second.
thrown this away. They've done it.
That's it.
Just won.
Oh no,
No,
the
reset.
reset. Oh my goodness, what is happening right now? Cries